Chapter 4387. Duan Lingtian only regained his senses when Wang Yiyuan breathed his last and fell to the ground with a thud. At the same time, a complicated expression appeared on his face. Although he had lived for 1,000 years and was used to seeing life and death, he still felt a sense of helplessness in his heart at this moment. Would he really be able to escape and regain his freedom without being controlled by the Crimson Devil? Even he did not have absolute confidence that he would be able to do so. As for Wang Yiyuan, he did not know if he was trying to comfort himself before his death, or if he really thought there was hope for him to escape, but he actually asked for a favor from him. It was something related to the clan behind him and the family behind him. If I die here, or if I'm possessed by the Crimson Devil, I won't be able to help him even if I want to. At this moment, even Duan Lingtian felt that Wang Yiyuan seemed to have overestimated him. Why was he so confident in him? Perhaps it's not that he has confidence in me. He just wants to comfort himself before his death. Duan Lingtian sighed in his heart. Then, he raised his hand and the energy from the Law of Life swept out. Together with the energy from the Divine Tree of Life, he repaired the hole in Wang Yiyuan's body before he put it away in Wang Yiyuan's spatial ring. If I can't leave, you can stay here forever. If I can, I'll bring you back to your clan and hand you over to the family you're worried about before your death. After putting Wang Yiyuan's body into the spatial ring left behind by Wang Yiyuan, Duan Lingtian continued to move forward. Of course, the spatial ring had already been claimed by him and belonged to him now. As for the thing Wang Yiyuan said he would be interested in, he could not tell what it was in such a short time. At the same time, he did not have time to study it, so he put it aside for the time being. He would study it after he left the secret land. When a man was about to die, his words were kind. Although he couldn't tell what it was for the time being, since Wang Yiyuan said so, it was enough to prove that it was mysterious. At the very least, Wang Yiyuan had not been able to figure it out after so many years. He did not think Wang Yiyuan had obtained it in the little world in the Crimson Devil's body. He must have obtained it outside. If he had obtained it in the little world, the Crimson Devil must have thought it was worthless. In that case, Wang Yiyuan would not treat it as a treasure. Duan Lingtian continued forward, heading towards the center of the circle. Although the difficulty of the trials was constantly increasing along the way, it was still not difficult for Duan Lingtian. If it was difficult for even him, he felt that the number of people who survived this trip to the secret realm opened by Crimson Demon would not exceed 5. Of course, the later stages were not all about brute force. Duan Lingtian also noticed this in the later stages. In the later stages, a lot of people had to rely on their ability to react on the spot and their intelligence. If a person wasn't smart enough or was a little slow, even if they didn't die in the later stages, they would at least be injured. What Duan Lingtian didn't know was that Crimson Demon had seen everything that happened after that. This Duan Lingtian is worthy of being called the most monstrous existence among all the young geniuses in my small world. His performance is flawless. Of course, I can't come to a final conclusion about the trial set by the secret realm this time. After all, there are a few other people in the trial this time, so there won't be too much pressure. I'll raise the difficulty of the next secret realm to the highest level. I'd like to see how many people can survive. If there's only one person, it'll be him. If there are a few people, I'll set another trial and choose the last person. If there are 2 or 3 people in the end with the same performance and no pressure and no choice, I'll choose this Duan Lingtian. Crimson Demon watched the group of young geniuses in the secret realm of his small world from a place where Duan Lingtian couldn't see. His eyes were focused on Duan Lingtian. The reason why he was more optimistic about Duan Lingtian was because Duan Lingtian had many gods accumulating springs. Secondly, Duan Lingtian was the youngest among the group of young geniuses. He was at most a medium ultimate god who was a little over 1,000 years old. Moreover, he also noticed that Duan Lingtian was not far from becoming a higher ultimate god based on his current cultivation level. If there were no accidents and he continued to grow smoothly, he would become a higher ultimate god before he was 2,000 years old. There's nothing else to see after this. I originally wanted to get some gods accumulating springs from Duan Lingtian in this secret realm, but it seems like I can't directly increase the difficulty of the trial. That would undoubtedly make him more vigilant. Forget it. I'll just let go of this small prophet. I don't want him to go to the extreme and destroy his spatial ring before I possess him. If that happens, I won't be able to get a single drop of God's accumulating springs. Crimson Demon previously had the idea of taking the God's accumulating springs from Duan Lingtian because he wasn't sure if Duan Lingtian would be the most suitable person for him to possess. After all, he had only seen Duan Lingtian's strength and talent and knew nothing about Duan Lingtian. However, while he was satisfied with Duan Lingtian's performance as he continued to observe in the secret realm, he also realized that even if there were only 2 or 3 people who survived in the end, Duan Lingtian would most likely be one of them. In fact, he had already decided that Duan Lingtian would be the best person for him to possess. He just needed to go through the final process. After all, it would determine whether his possession would succeed. Their clan's possession technique was too heaven-defying. It could only be used once in a person's lifetime, and the success rate was not 100%. Only by finding the most suitable body for possession would the success rate be higher. Duan Lingtian did not know that he had escaped a calamity from Crimson Demon who wanted to steal the god's accumulating springs. He was now continuing to advance toward the center of the circle. Along the way, he met 2 other people, but he did not know them and ignored them. Those 2 people had seen Duan Lingtian kill Pang Pusha with their own eyes and knew how powerful Duan Lingtian was. Seeing that Duan Lingtian did not intend to pay attention to them, they consciously did not disturb Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian is too strong. He's only a medium ultimate god, but he has the combat strength of a top-tier superior ultimate god. If he steps into the upper ultimate god realm, I'm afraid only those 2 people among us can compare to him, right? The 2 people Duan Lingtian saw were now walking together and breaking through the layers of checkpoints that appeared later. It was possible to work together in the secret realm. However, when 2 people work together, the checkpoints they had to break through would overlap and be more difficult. When 2 people worked together, their combined strength would be stronger. When faced with overlapping checkpoints, the difficulty of breaking through them was not much different from breaking through them alone. The reason these 2 people worked together was because they had been on good terms and trusted each other all these years. If Duan Lingtian went to find someone to work with now, the other party might not be willing because they were worried that Duan Lingtian would play dirty tricks behind their backs. Even if Duan Lingtian did not directly attack them, as long as he held back, he could easily trick them. Because of that, in the secret realm of Crimson Demon's small world, it was impossible to work together if they did not trust each other enough. Do you think, if the 2 of us work together, we can beat him? One of them asked the other. You're too arrogant. If the 2 of us work together, even if we go against Ao Longyu and Tianhu, we're not 100% sure that we can beat them. At most, we can guarantee that we won't be at a disadvantage. Didn't you see that before he entered the secret realm, Ao Longyu and Tianhu were so scared that they went in next? The other person shook his head. When the first person heard that, he fell silent. I never thought that there would be a day when a medium ultimate god could make me so afraid. The young man who shook his head spoke again with a sigh. He's really a monster. Duan Lingtian passed through all the levels and finally arrived at the center of the circle. The center of the circle was a large teleportation formation. When he arrived, he happened to see a person enter the teleportation formation before him. Then, the person disappeared in the teleportation formation's light. When the light dissipated, the person disappeared without a trace. Before the person disappeared, Duan Lingtian saw his face clearly. It was a young man with a cold face wearing a long black robe. When he looked at the other person was also looking at him. He came earlier than me and doesn't seem to have any traces of injury. This person should be the one that Wang Yiyuan mentioned earlier, one of the strongest few among the many young geniuses that were imprisoned by the Crimson Demon. In Crimson Demon's little world, there were a few young geniuses who had the combat strength of a peak high-level ultimate god. He had heard about this from Wang Yiyuan a few years ago. Of course, he did not think that he was weaker than the genius who had left the secret realm before him. After all, he had not borrowed the power of the 5 divine elements and the divine tree of life. Otherwise, he would have been faster. In addition, he had been delayed for some time in the process of meeting Wang Yiyuan. Let's go out first. The secret realm this time posed no difficulty to me at all. However, it might not be the same for the next secret realm. I wonder if Sister Shui and the Divine Tree of Life have gained something this time. In fact, the last two levels were still a little difficult for Duan Lingtian. However, due to some plans, he did not borrow the power of the Divine Tree of Life and the 5 divine elements because they had their own things to do. Whether he could successfully escape from Crimson Demon's control was also an important factor. I hope they've gained something. That way, I'll have a better chance of escaping from Crimson Demon. Sister Shui also said that if I can enter the higher ultimate god stage here, I'll have a better chance of escaping from Crimson Demon's control. Originally, I only had a 50% chance of escaping. However, if I enter the higher ultimate god stage, I'll have a 70% chance of escaping. Chapter 4388. Duan Lingtian discovered he had left the secret realm that Crimson Demon had set up for them and returned to the area he was in before he entered the secret realm. At this moment, he could see the figure of the person who had left the secret realm was gradually disappearing into the distance. There was no one around him at all. Duan Lingtian did not stay long before he returned to the cave abode he had created for himself. The first thing he did when he returned to the cave abode was to ask the world-cleansing divine water in his little world. Sister Water, how did you and the Divine Tree of Life gain from the trip to the secret realm set up by Crimson Demon? Although the Divine Tree of Life had yet to communicate with him, he knew that the Divine Tree of Life had its own life and consciousness. It was just that it had yet to recover to its peak state, so it was unable to communicate with him. Only the world-cleansing divine water, one of the 5 divine elements that had accompanied the Divine Tree of Life for many years, could communicate with the Divine Tree of Life. Naturally, if Duan Lingtian asked the Divine Tree of Life for help, the Divine Tree of Life would be able to sense his will and help him. However, there was no communication between them during this process. It's just as I've guessed. The so-called secret realm in Crimson Demon's little world is actually a secret realm formed by the Divine Tree of Life in his little world. In other words, the energy that supports the secret realm's operation comes from the Divine Tree of Life in Crimson Demon's little world. We've discussed this before. The best time for you to escape is when the secret realm opens again. Make the best use of your time to cultivate before the next secret realm opens. If you can become a higher ultimate god before you enter the secret realm, you'll have a higher chance of success. After listening to the world-cleansing divine water's words, Duan Lingtian realized the discovery of the world-cleansing divine water and the Divine Tree of Life in the secret realm set up by Crimson Demon was just as they had guessed. After all, the Divine Tree of Life in his body had once belonged to a supreme expert. The Divine Tree of Life in his small world was well aware of what methods the supreme experts had, what they relied on, and what they needed to open the so-called secret realm in their small worlds. Even the world-cleansing divine water knew a lot about it. That was why they had guessed earlier and promised Duan Lingtian that there was a chance to help him escape the Crimson Demon's control and leave the Crimson Demon's small world. Upper-level ultimate god. Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed with a burning yearning. At the same time, he took a deep breath and prepared to calm down and start cultivating. However, before he started cultivating, he couldn't help but take out the spatial ring that Wang Yuan had given him before his death and took out the thing that Wang Yuan had mentioned. It was a circular object that looked like a token. It was engraved with ancient and complicated patterns. At least, Duan Lingtian couldn't recognize what those patterns were. He didn't know if they were words or symbols. However, the material of the token was very strange. Duan Lingtian couldn't recognize what it was. Even when he activated the 7 Orifices exquisite sword, he couldn't leave a mark on it. It wasn't that he didn't wonder if this was also a profound divine metal. After all, when he obtained the first form profound divine metal, it had the same characteristics. However, after he asked the profound divine metal, he was denied the possibility. This is definitely not the profound divine metal, said the profound divine metal in Duan Lingtian's small world. Then what is it? Duan Lingtian was puzzled. Little Tian, throw the token into your small world and place it under the Divine Tree of Life. Just as Duan Lingtian was puzzled, the world-cleansing divine water's voice sounded. Duan Lingtian immediately realized that the world-cleansing divine water wanted the Divine Tree of Life to take a look at the token. Upon hearing the world-cleansing divine water's words, Duan Lingtian immediately threw the token into his small world. A hint of anticipation could be seen in his eyes. That's right. Why didn't I think of that? The divine tree of life used to be by the side of a supreme powerhouse. It's a powerful companion of the supreme powerhouse who's now dead. It must have been influenced by the supreme powerhouse. Wang Yiyuan and I can't recognize this token, but it doesn't mean it can't recognize it. Under Duan Lingtian's expectant gaze, the life energy on the divine tree of life suddenly surged in Duan Lingtian's small world. Then, a few of its branches shot out toward the token under the divine tree of life. Just as the tree branches were about to touch the circular token suddenly flickered with a faint life force, preventing the tree branches from approaching. Naturally, the life energy on the token was very weak. It was nothing compared to the life energy on the divine tree of life. In just a blink of an eye, it was destroyed. What's that token? How can it extend the life energy? Duan Lingtian was slightly surprised by the scene before his eyes. He could not figure out how a round token that was a dead object could emit such a pure life force. Although the life energy was not strong, it was very pure. It was no different from the life energy directly extended from the divine tree of life. At the very least, the life energy he displayed when he fused the law of life with his divine power was far from this pure. According to the world-cleansing divine water, if he wanted to refine his life energy to such a pure level, he would have to at least comprehend the law of life to the perfection stage. The perfection stage of the law of life was a qualitative leap. Under Duan Lingtian's gaze, the branches of the divine tree of life wrapped around the circular token. Streams of gentle life energy continued to flow into the token. At first, Duan Lingtian was somewhat puzzled by the divine tree of life's actions. However, after a while, Duan Lingtian's eyes suddenly widened. This was because he discovered that the token was emitting a suction force that greedily devoured the life energy from the divine tree of life. The divine tree of life did not seem to reject this and continued to supply the token with life energy. Sister Water, upon seeing this, Duan Lingtian could not help but ask the world-cleansing divine water about this. What was going on? What was the divine tree of life doing? Also, this round token, did it recognize what it was? Otherwise, why would it allow the divine tree of life to absorb its life energy? I don't know either. The world-cleansing divine water quickly replied, I've just asked it, but I don't think it has the time to reply. Let's wait patiently. Although I don't know what's going on, I can sense that it's not being forced. It's voluntarily supplying the token with its life energy. Although I don't know what it is, it's probably not something ordinary. Little Tian, where did you get that thing from? The world-cleansing divine water asked curiously. Upon hearing this, Duan Lingtian did not intend to hide it from the world-cleansing divine water. He told the world-cleansing divine water about Wang Yiyuan. Upon hearing this, the world-cleansing divine water could not help but sigh. If that thing is really useful to you, it'll be a huge favor to you. All right, Duan Lingtian nodded. At the same time, his gaze was resolute. Regardless of whether that thing is of great use to me or not, just based on the trust he has for me, I won't turn a blind eye to what he wants me to do if it's within my ability. You're very responsible. The world-cleansing divine water praised Duan Lingtian. Then, it waited with Duan Lingtian for the divine tree of life's reply. However, 3 days and 3 nights passed in just a blink of an eye. After 3 days and 3 nights, the divine tree of life finally stopped supplying the token with life energy. At this time, it seemed to have dimmed slightly. It was obvious that it had consumed a lot of life energy. Upon seeing this, Duan Lingtian was in no hurry to ask the world-cleansing divine water to ask the divine tree of life. After all, even a human would need some time to rest after 3 days and 3 nights. However, even though Duan Lingtian did not ask, the world-cleansing divine water took the initiative to contact Duan Lingtian. She said excitedly, Little Tian, the thing that Wang Yuan gave you is not ordinary. In fact, it's a treasure to you. Duan Lingtian was slightly taken aback when he heard the world-cleansing divine water's words. Although he could tell that the thing was not ordinary from the way it acted in front of the divine tree of life, he did not have high hopes for it. Even if it was not ordinary, it might not be of much use to him. If it was something that leaned toward the law of life, he would not give up on the law of time and the law of space to focus on the law of life. Moreover, in his opinion, the law of space was more powerful than the law of life, and the law of time was more powerful than the law of space. Chapter 4389. Sister Water. What is it? Although the world-cleansing divine water had said the item was a treasure to him, Duan Lingtian did not let this surprise get to his head. After all, he would only know how useful it was to him if he had a better understanding of it. If it was something that could help him raise the level of the law of life, it might be a treasure to him. However, he was reluctant to convert his primary law of life to the law of life. Apart from his current attainments in the law of time and the law of space, he also possessed a supreme powerhouse godhead from the law of time and a supreme powerhouse godhead from the law of space. Both were treasures that could help him comprehend the law of life. Let alone the God-defying world. Even in the outer realm, a supreme powerhouse godhead was a treasure. If that item is really something that can help me comprehend the law of life, is it more powerful than a supreme powerhouse godhead? Duan Lingtian did not believe the world-cleansing divine water's words. Although Duan Lingtian did not expect much from the world-cleansing divine water, he was still waiting for its reply. Perhaps Sister Water would be able to bring him a pleasant surprise? Although Sister Shui wasn't completely clear about his current situation, she probably knew that he didn't have much hope for the law of life. It's a key, the world-cleansing divine water said again. Duan Lingtian was stunned when he heard the world-cleansing divine water's words. A key? At this moment, Duan Lingtian was certain the key was not something that could help him comprehend the law of time. It must be a key to a certain place that contained many treasures. At the very least, it must be something useful to him. Otherwise, the world-cleansing divine water would not have told him the key was a treasure to him. Key? Where is the key to? Duan Lingtian's eyes lit up when he regained his senses. A hint of anticipation could be seen on his face. The world-cleansing divine water did not keep Duan Lingtian in suspense. She said bluntly, according to the wood spirit, the key contains the aura of its former owner's idol. The idol of its former owner is also a supreme powerhouse. Moreover, he's much stronger than the wood spirit. The wood spirit said that there is a spirit within the key. It's a life form that was born out of thin air by that utmost powerhouse after he mastered the laws of life to the great perfection realm. That spirit said that after its master died, the meaning of its existence was to open the independent plane where the ultimate expert behind it hid his relics after he died for the person who obtained it. Whoever can reawaken it will be able to obtain all the treasures in the independent plane that it controls. The world-cleansing divine water paused for a moment before it continued. The wood spirit followed its previous master and saw it from afar before I entered its body. According to the wood spirit, its former master's idol, which is that ultimate powerhouse, is extremely powerful. Also, the wood spirit heard from its former master that his idol is an existence that can be ranked in the second tier even in the entire myriad worlds. The supreme experts in the first echelon of the 10,000 worlds are the three supreme existences in the three major domains. The second echelon below them are the supreme experts who are a grade lower. Among the myriad worlds, there are no more than 30 ultimate powerhouses who can be ranked in the second tier. At least, there were no more than 30 ultimate powerhouses back then. Perhaps you don't know much about this. Let me give you a reference. Back then, there was only one ultimate powerhouse who could be ranked in the second tier in the myriad worlds and the myriad worlds. Duan Lingtian was shocked when he heard the world-cleansing divine water's words. That round token was actually something left behind by a supreme being who was once recognized as one of the second echelons of the myriad worlds. Moreover, it could open the independent space he left behind. Moreover, that supreme powerhouse was the idol of the former master of the divine tree of life in his little world. The wood spirit was the name of the divine tree of life in Duan Lingtian's little world. Duan Lingtian had learned about the name of the divine tree of life not long ago. After all, the original master of the divine tree of life in his little world was also a supreme powerhouse. One could only imagine how powerful that supreme powerhouse was to be idolized. However, the The circular token he obtained was left behind by that supreme powerhouse. Moreover, according to the world-cleansing divine water, the token was left behind. Moreover, the circular token was the key to opening the independent space left behind by that supreme powerhouse. Whoever obtained the circular token and awakened the spirit inside would be able to obtain all the treasures in the independent space left behind by that supreme powerhouse. Sister Water, that supreme powerhouse, did he not have any descendants? Did he not have any disciples? After a brief moment of shock and excitement, Duan Lingtian calmed down. The wood spirit said that the supreme expert did not belong to any of the realms. He was a wandering cultivator who roamed the myriad of realms and the lands beyond them. In fact, many people said that he was a native of the lands beyond the realm. The outer land is located outside the myriad worlds. It's also the hub of the myriad worlds. Many living beings have been born there over the years. Some are strong, some are weak. Among them, there are many who have grown to the level of a supreme powerhouse. The wood spirit said that the supreme powerhouse was a rogue cultivator in the past. After he died, he hid his life savings in an independent space and waited for a fated person. It's normal for him to do that. The world-cleansing divine water paused for a moment before it continued. The wood spirit said that you can obtain it now and drip a drop of blood on it to make it acknowledge you as its master. Although the wood spirit was the one who awakened it, since you're its new master, its awakening is equivalent to your awakening. Upon hearing the world-cleansing divine water's words, Duan Lingtian no longer cared about the confusion in his heart. He immediately pulled the circular token out of his little world before he pricked his finger and dripped a drop of blood on it. In the next moment, Duan Lingtian felt as though he had formed a strange connection with a living being. Your divine tree of life has awakened me. You're the fated person that Master spoke of. When you become stronger, I'll bring you to the bottomless abyss that Master left behind, so you can inherit Master's legacy. As the circular token trembled slightly, a young voice suddenly appeared in Duan Lingtian's mind. As soon as he finished speaking, Duan Lingtian saw the round command token suddenly transform into a flowing light that entered his body before appearing near his soul, and it terrified him to the point his face couldn't help but go pale. Don't worry, the young voice sounded again. You're the fated person that Master spoke of. I won't harm you. I'll stay near your soul and protect it at critical moments. It's a good thing for you. However, my abilities are limited. I'm only good at defending against soul attacks. You don't have to look for me for help with other matters. Even if you look for me, I won't be able to help. Duan Lingtian heaved a sigh of relief when he heard the young voice's words. At the same time, he recalled something and could not help but ask, You said that I can only go to the bottomless abyss that Master left behind after I become stronger. How strong do I have to become? Duan Lingtian thought to himself. If he could go to the bottomless abyss after he became a higher ultimate god, it would undoubtedly be a great thing for him. However, the young voice's reply completely dispelled his delusion. Supreme Expert. Chapter 4390. Ultimate Expert. Duan Lingtian felt as though a bucket of cold water had been poured over his head when he heard the words of the spirit in the circular token. The excitement that rose from the depths of his heart instantly vanished. Ultimate Expert. That was too far away from him now. His current goal was still to become a higher ultimate god. After stepping into the higher ultimate god realm, there was still a very, very long way to go before he could become an ultimate expert. He knew very well that the reason he was able to step into the medium ultimate god realm from the lower ultimate god realm so quickly and even consolidate his cultivation base, getting closer and closer to the higher ultimate god realm. All of this was because he had soaked in the divine corrupting spring and absorbed a huge amount of divine corrupting spring. And that kind of opportunity only came once. Now, even if he still had a lot of divine corrupting spring in his hands, even if he used all of it, it would at most help him walk a small part of the path to becoming a higher ultimate god. Even if he stepped into the higher ultimate god realm now, it would be difficult for him to completely consolidate his cultivation base with the divine corrupting spring in his hands, let alone use the divine corrupting spring to become an ultimate expert. What a pity. I have to step into the ultimate expert realm to be able to enter the ultimate god realm left behind by that powerful ultimate expert. Duan Lingtian sighed in his heart. He did not expect that he would be able to enter the ultimate god realm left behind by that ultimate expert as a medium ultimate god. However, he was hoping that he would be able to enter that place as a higher ultimate god. However, now that he heard the words of the spirit of the ultimate key, Duan Lingtian completely dispelled the delusion in his heart. I originally thought that if I could enter as a higher ultimate god, I might be able to use the resources inside to quickly improve my strength and speed up my path to becoming an ultimate expert. After sighing in his heart again, Duan Lingtian finally regained his senses and did not continue to dwell on this matter. At the same time, he remembered that the ultimate key left behind by the ultimate expert was given to him by Wang Yiyuan before he died. If I can leave this place alive, I will definitely do what you asked of me. Thinking of Wang Yiyuan's last words, Duan Lingtian's expression turned solemn. Even if Wang Yiyuan had already fallen and it was impossible to know if he would fulfill his promise, he had never thought of going back on his word. I'll focus on my cultivation first. I'll strive to become a high-level ultimate god before the next secret territory opens. Duan Lingtian knew that the next time the secret realm opened, it would be a turning point for him. Whether or not he could leave the small world in the Crimson Demon's body and escape the Crimson Demon's control would depend on whether everything went smoothly the next time the secret realm opened. Right now, he wasn't sure either. According to the world-cleansing divine water, if Duan Lingtian did not make a breakthrough, he would only have a 50% chance of escaping alive. However, if he made a breakthrough, his chances would be even higher. However, no matter how confident he was, there was still a risk. There was no 100% chance of success. Even if it was 99%, there was still a chance of failure. No matter what, it's better to have a higher chance of survival. The higher the chance of survival, the higher the chance of survival. After taking a deep breath, Duan Lingtian tried his best to calm himself down. Then, he took out the god-corrupting spring water to help with his cultivation as he tried to break through to the high-level ultimate god stage. He had completely forgotten about time and everything else as he cultivated. He was only focused on breaking through. While Duan Lingtian was resting after leaving the secret realm, in the Crimson Demon's small world, many people who had entered the secret realm also came out one after another after Duan Lingtian. However, unlike Duan Lingtian who came out unscathed, these people were more or less injured. Some of them were even severely injured. Poof! Another figure came out from the secret realm. As soon as he came out, his body swayed, and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Then, his face became extremely pale, like a sheet of white paper hanging on his face. After spitting out the blood, he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked around to make sure there was no one around before he heaved a sigh of relief. If I had known, I wouldn't have provoked Duan Lingtian. I really didn't expect him to be so powerful. If Duan Lingtian was here, he would be able to recognize this person with just a glance. This person was one of the two people who wanted to join forces with Peng Pu Sha to deal with him before he entered the secret realm. Ao Longyu. At this time, Ao Longyu was no longer as high-spirited as he was in front of Duan Lingtian. He looked a little tired and dispirited. Moreover, although he had successfully come out of the secret realm alive, he was not relaxed at all. First of all, he was seriously injured this time. The next trip to the secret realm would not bode well for him. Second, he was afraid that before the next trip to the secret realm, Duan Lingtian, who he had provoked before, would come looking for trouble with him and even kill him. Even if he was at his peak, he was no match for him, let alone now. Let's follow the agreement I made with Tian, who before we entered the secret realm. After we come out, we'll look for someone to protect us. Duan Lingtian is powerful. However, there are still a few people in Crimson Devil's little world who are not afraid of him. Ao Longyu muttered to himself. He did not return to his place of cultivation. Instead, he headed in another direction. While Ao Longyu was making his move, Ao Longyu's companion, Tian Hu, was giving away a spatial ring in a cave abode in a mountain range in the distance. Tian Hu, what's the meaning of this? A handsome young man dressed in white sat in front of a stone table in the cave dwelling. He was drinking tea at a leisurely pace. He looked calm and had an extraordinary aura. Young Master June, I'm willing to use more than half of my life savings to seek your protection, Tianhu said sincerely with a solemn expression. Seek protection? The white-clad young man was stunned when he heard Tianhu's words. Then, he laughed self-mockingly. I'm the same as you. We're both caged beasts in Crimson Devil's cage. I'm afraid you're asking the wrong person to seek protection from me. You should seek protection from Crimson Devil. Young Master June Tianhu continued to say, I'm asking for your protection. As long as you protect me until the next time the secret realm opens and we enter the secret realm. After that, young Master June won't have to protect me anymore. A hint of hope rose in Tianhu's eyes as soon as he finished speaking. If he died in the next secret realm, he would accept it. However, if he was killed by Duan Lingtian before entering the secret realm, he would feel wronged. Naturally, most importantly, he wanted to take a gamble and increase his strength before the next secret realm opened. That way, he might not die in the next secret realm. Moreover, if he became stronger and joined forces with Ao Longyu, he might not be afraid of Duan Lingtian anymore. If there were no accidents, Ao Longyu would definitely have a breakthrough before the next secret realm opened. He was seeking protection to stall for time. He felt that he and Ao Longyu might not be afraid of Duan Lingtian after a few more years. However, even if they joined forces now, they were still no match for Duan Lingtian. You're worried that the newcomer will attack you? The white-clad young man asked with a faint smile as he looked at Tianhu. Tianhu took a deep breath when he heard that. At this point, I don't intend to hide it from young Master June. Ao Longyu and I are indeed worried that he'll attack us. I'm seeking protection from young Master June because I'm guarding against him. I'm sure he won't dare to act recklessly with me around, young Master June. Based on Tianhu's words, it was obvious that he trusted the white-clad young man. In other words, he trusted the white-clad young man's strength. The white-clad young man's name was Shangguan Jun. In terms of strength, he was one of the strongest people in Crimson Demon's little world. Even among the superior ultimate gods, he was one of the best. At the very least, Tianhu felt that if Duan Lingtian were to fight with Shangguan Jun, it would be difficult for him to defeat Shangguan Jun even if he was undefeated. It's not a problem to protect you. Shangguan Jun glanced at Tianhu nonchalantly before he looked at the spatial ring that Tianhu handed over. However, I want to confirm if your sincerity is worthy of my protection. If I don't like you, you can leave and look for someone else. In Crimson Demon's little world, I'm not the only one who has the ability to protect you. Shangguan Jun said. Young Master Jun, please check it. Tianhu bowed slightly and handed over the spatial ring. Shangguan Jun casually took the spatial ring. After the spatial ring ownership claim was made, he took a look inside. At first, his eyes were calm. However, after a while, his eyes suddenly lit up like the bright stars in the night sky. Even his breathing became slightly disordered. After taking a deep breath, Shangguan Jun regained his senses and looked deeply at Tianhu. You're really generous. That thing makes it impossible for me to reject you. All right, I'll do it. He's just a newcomer. If we were in the outside world, I wouldn't easily make an enemy out of him because of his talent and future. However, in Crimson Demon's little world, everyone is going to die. Why should I be afraid of him? Shangguan Jun paused for a moment before he said to Tianhu, until the next time the secret land opens, you will cultivate in my cave mansion. If Duan Lingtian really comes looking for me, I'll stop him. Thank you, young Master Jun. Tianhu had been waiting for Shangguan Jun to say this. Until now, his restless heart had finally calmed down. After Tianhu obtained the protection of Shangguan Jun, one of the strongest geniuses in Crimson Demon's little world, Ao Longyu arrived at the cave abode of another genius who was as famous as Shangguan Jun in Crimson Demon's little world. After a series of respectful greetings, Ao Longyu entered the cave mansion of the other party. At the same time, Ao Longyu stated his request and offered a treasure that the other party could not reject. With this, Ao Longyu and Tianhu found protection one after another. After the news spread, the young geniuses who survived the secret land could understand Ao Longyu and Tianhu's choice. If they were in the same situation as the two of them, they would most likely make the same choice. Ao Longyu and Tian, who are protected by Sun Jiyao and Shangguan Jun. I'm afraid it's impossible for Duan Ling Tian to touch them. Chapter 4391. Naturally, Duan Ling Tian did not know that Ao Longyu and Tian, who had each found a top young genius in Crimson Demon's small world and paid a huge price to seek protection from him. Now, he was fully focused on his cultivation. He had forgotten about time and everything else while he was cultivating. With the help of the divine corrupting spring, his cultivation base increased rapidly, and he was getting closer and closer to becoming a higher ultimate god. Even Crimson Demon, who occasionally paid attention to Duan Ling Tian, could clearly feel the improvement and change in Duan Ling Tian's cultivation base. This kid's cultivation speed is really fast. I originally planned to open the next secret territory in a few years. It seems like I'll have to postpone it. I'll wait until he becomes a higher ultimate god before opening the secret territory. At that time, I'll directly open the next secret territory and make it the last one. Only one person will survive. The secret territory opened early the last time. This time, I'll open it later to give them more time to breathe. Originally, the dozen young geniuses who were lucky enough to survive in Crimson Demon's small world thought that since the secret territory opened early the last time, the next secret territory would only open a few years later. However, after a few years, they realized that the secret territory did not open. Even after a few more years, the secret territory still did not open. Could it be that the secret territory is going to be opened by the same number of years? Many people thought so. However, when the secret territory still did not open after the previous secret territory opened the next time, the group of people was puzzled. What's going on? Why hasn't the secret territory opened yet? That's right. No newcomers have entered. Why is the opening of the secret territory delayed? Could it be that the secret territory opened early the last time, so it's delayed this time? Something doesn't feel right. Although the dozen young geniuses who were lucky enough to survive in Crimson Demon's small world were puzzled, they also knew that they could not change anything. Everything here was under the control of the ultimate god, Crimson Demon. Among them, there were even quite a few direct descendants of supreme experts, the kind where the supreme experts were even willing to fight for them. However, within the small world within the Crimson Devil's body, they had no way of asking for help from the supreme experts behind them. Among the dozen or so people, several of them had tokens from supreme experts. Usually, when they were outside the realm, they could use the tokens from supreme experts to contact the supreme experts. However, the small world within Crimson Demon's body completely isolated all of this. You want to tip them off? Impossible. The Crimson Demon had already calculated everything. What's the situation? The secret realm hasn't opened yet? Even Ao Longyu and Tianhu had mostly recovered from their injuries. They had thought that they would only be able to enter the next secret realm with injuries. Who would have thought that they would have time to recover from so many injuries? This is a good thing for me. It seems like I'll be able to fully recover from my injuries before the next secret realm opens. Perhaps, before the next time the secret realm opens, my strength will be able to improve further. Tianhu's eyes shone brightly as he muttered to himself. On the other hand, Ao Longyu's eyes shone brightly. Now that my strength has improved, even if I'm not a match for Duan Ling Tian, if Tianhu and I join forces, it'll be difficult for him to kill us. If Tianhu and I join forces, the most we'll be able to do is to fight him to a standstill. This time, the secret realm hasn't opened yet. I'll use the remaining time to recover from my injuries. I'll quickly recover from my injuries. At that time, I'll have more strength to protect myself. If there was anyone who did not pay attention to the next secret realm opening, it would be Duan Ling Tian. Duan Ling Tian was focused on his cultivation, leaving his back to the 5 divine elements. If anything happened, the 5 divine elements would immediately alert him. As for the opening of the secret realm, there was no need for the 5 divine elements to alert him. Crimson Demon's voice was enough to wake him up. For this reason, he was not worried he would miss the next secret realm. Duan Ling Tian had completely forgotten about time as he cultivated. Drops of divine, corrupting spring water were consumed by him as though they were free. They became a part of his divine energy. His divine power continued to rise and rise again. It was only when he had a breakthrough in his cultivation base that Duan Lingtian opened his eyes. His eyes shone brightly before they dimmed again. How long have I been cultivating? I feel like I've depleted more than half of the divine, corrupting spring water in my possession. Now, I'm only left with less than half. Duan Lingtian looked at the divine corrupting spring in his spatial ring and discovered that the divine corrupting spring in his spatial ring had decreased by 3/5 compared to before he went into closed-door cultivation. Only 2/5 was left. Sister Water, how long have I been cultivating? Duan Lingtian asked the world-cleansing divine water as his eyes narrowed slightly when he saw the rate of depletion of the divine corrupting spring water. The world-cleansing divine water immediately replied, "You've been cultivating for 32 years, 32 years. Duan Lingtian's expression changed slightly. That long? In the next instant, he thought of something else. But why hasn't the secret realm opened yet? Crimson Demon hasn't notified me either. What's going on? It can't be that I missed Crimson Demon's notification while I was cultivating, right? That can't be right. If I didn't enter the secret realm, Crimson Demon wouldn't have let me go. Could it be that the secret realm hasn't opened yet?" At this moment, a voice suddenly rang in Duan Lingtian's ears. "The secret realm will open in 3 months. Crimson Demon's notification of the secret realm's opening came just as Duan Lingtian had successfully broken through to the upper ultimate god stage. This caused Duan Lingtian to fall into a daze for a long time. It was obvious the secret realm's opening had been delayed. However, if the opening was delayed, so be it. The timing of the opening was too coincidental. It opened right after he had broken through to the upper ultimate god stage. Sister Shui, do you think that Crimson Demon would be able to find out about my breakthrough as well? After all, this is the little world in Crimson Demon's body." Duan Lingtian could not help but ask the world-cleansing divine water. The world-cleansing divine water quickly gave him an answer. "As long as he's paying attention to you, he'll naturally know about your breakthrough. Why are you suddenly asking this?" The world-cleansing divine water felt Duan Lingtian would not have asked this out of the blue. There must be a reason for him to ask this question. Duan Lingtian immediately told the world-cleansing divine water that the secret realm would open in 3 months. The secret realm's opening was announced just a few breaths after you had broken through. The interval between the opening of the secret realm, this should be the longest one? The world-cleansing divine water was silent for a while after hearing this from Duan Lingtian. Then, it continued, "If I'm not mistaken, he's probably waiting for you to break through to the upper ultimate god stage and become a upper ultimate god. As for the reason, it's because he values you. Moreover, he's likely to choose the most suitable body for him to possess in the secret realm this time." The world-cleansing divine water's words made Duan Lingtian realize his guess was correct. However, Duan Lingtian did not expect the Crimson Demon to choose the most suitable body for him in the secret realm this time. "Sister Water, why did you say the Crimson Demon would choose the most suitable body for him in the secret realm this time? Even if half of the people were eliminated in the previous secret realm, there would still be more than a dozen people left. More than a dozen people, and only one person will be chosen?" Duan Lingtian asked curiously. The world-cleansing divine water said, "My guess is based on evidence. Previously, you told me the Crimson Demon's death rate has increased recently when he opened the secret realm. From this, it's clear he's in a hurry. It's obvious he can't hold on for too long. He doesn't even plan to face the 10,000 years heavenly tribulation. His 10,000 years heavenly tribulation should be coming soon. Therefore, he wants to possess a new body before that and use his clan's secret technique to conceal himself from the heavenly tribulation." Duan Lingtian agreed with the world-cleansing divine water's analysis. Based on the world-cleansing divine water's analysis, Duan Lingtian found it logical. For a moment, his expression couldn't help but turn solemn. "Little Tian, you don't have to worry too much." Upon seeing Duan Lingtian's grave expression, the world-cleansing divine water said, "You originally planned to escape from his control when the secret realm opens this time. If you can escape successfully, it won't affect you even if it's the last time you enter the secret realm. However, if you fail, you won't be in a good situation even if it's the last time you enter the secret realm." Upon hearing the world-cleansing divine water's words, Duan Lingtian's expression softened. Moreover, the world-cleansing divine water continued to say, this time, if he's waiting for you to become a higher ultimate god before he opens the secret realm, it'll be a great help to you. Now that you've become a higher ultimate god, we'll have a higher chance of helping you escape. Upon hearing the world-cleansing divine water's words, a hint of a smile finally appeared on Duan Ling Tian's face. When Duan Ling Tian learned that the secret realm would open in 3 months, the other young geniuses in the Crimson Demon's little world also received the news. For a moment, their hearts were all shaken. It's finally here. They had been waiting for a long time for the secret realm to open. They did not expect it would only open after 32 years. Some of the people who had been seriously injured had also successfully recovered from their injuries in these 32 years. Ao Longyu and Tianhu had also fully recovered from their injuries. In fact, not only had they recovered from their injuries, they had also improved over the years and become even more powerful. Now, the two of them had joined forces. With the tacit understanding between them, their combined strength was not inferior to the young geniuses that they had found to protect them. Chapter 4392. However, although Ao Longyu and Tian, who had both made breakthroughs and were stronger than the two young geniuses they had found to protect them, their combined strength was no weaker than the two young geniuses they had found to protect them. However, they did not intend to leave the young geniuses who had promised to protect them. After all, they had paid a huge price to find this protection umbrella. Before they could make full use of it, it was better not to exhaust their strength. After all, they still had to enter the secret realm to seek survival. If they were injured in a conflict with the Duan Lingtian, it would not be worth it. The secret realm will open in 3 months. You and I will meet up at the entrance of the secret realm under their protection. There's no need for us to meet up before that. Ao Longyu sent a voice transmission to Tianhu. It's impossible for the two of them to leave for us. If one of us chooses to leave, we'll have one less person to protect us. What Ao Longyu meant was that they should continue to enjoy the protection of the people they had found. If they took the initiative to leave, it would only benefit the other party. That's what I think too. Tianhu agreed with Ao Longyu's suggestion. It was obvious that Tianhu had the same thoughts as well. However, Ao Longyu continued. At this moment, Ao Longyu continued to say, Duan Ling Tian hasn't come to look for us for more than 30 years. I don't think he'll come to look for us in the last 3 months. However, it's better to be safe than sorry. To be on the safe side, we can't let our guard down. Tianhu agreed with Ao Longyu's words once again. The two of them decided that 3 months later, they would head to the location of the next secret realm that Crimson Demon would open under the protection of the umbrella that they had found. However, they did not know that a purple figure was flying in the air from a valley in the little world of the Crimson Demon's body. He was heading toward the cave abode they had created for themselves. This is where Ao Longyu and Tianhu's cave abodes are? Duan Ling Tian had come here after asking someone about the location of Ao Longyu and Tianhu's cave abodes. However, when he arrived, he found that there was no one inside. Could it be that they died in the last mystic realm? Duan Lingtian frowned slightly. Or perhaps, the person I asked earlier lied to me. Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian turned to look at a young man not far behind him. It was this young man who had told him the location of Ao Longyu and Tianhu's cave residences. At this moment, the young man seemed to have seen through Duan Lingtian's doubts and smiled faintly. What you asked me was the location of their cave abodes, and this is where their cave abodes are located. Now, are you going to ask me where they are now? There was a faint smile on the young man's face. He had been like this since the beginning when Duan Lingtian approached him. It was as if he was not afraid of Duan Lingtian's extraordinary strength at all. Since the last time the secret realm opened, Duan Lingtian had killed Peng Pusha at the entrance of the secret realm. Everyone in the Crimson Demon's small world knew about him. Everyone knew that a new genius had arrived. Although he was only a medium ultimate god, his strength was comparable to a superior ultimate god's. You know? This time, Duan Lingtian looked at the young man with a hint of surprise. He originally thought that the young man was just a friendly person, but now it seemed that he was not that simple. If it was an ordinary person, they would not be so perfunctory and would not follow him. I know. The young man nodded. Both of them were seriously injured after coming out of the secret realm last time. Therefore, each of them paid a certain price to seek protection from the other two. Those two people are also two of the strongest people among the people here. If you come to seek revenge now, I'm afraid that the people they found to protect them will not stand by and do nothing. As he finished speaking, the young man glanced deeply at Duan Tian. Oh? Upon hearing the young man's words, Duan Tian raised his eyebrows. He did not expect Ao Longyu and Tianhu to be so vigilant after coming out of the secret realm last time. However, he had to kill these two people. Last time, if it wasn't for his strength, he might have been tricked by these two and Peng Pusha and died at that time. Duan Tian was a person who clearly distinguished between kindness and hatred. He would repay kindness with kindness and revenge with revenge. As for the two people who sought protection from Ao Longyu and Tianhu, two of the strongest people in Crimson Demon's small world, superior ultimate gods, Duan Lingtian's eyes were filled with a burning desire to fight. He had just entered the upper ultimate god realm and urgently needed a battle to familiarize himself with the qualitative change in his divine power. Although entering the upper ultimate god realm meant that he was still far from completely stabilizing his cultivation base, his divine power had undergone a qualitative change and was incomparable to a medium ultimate god's divine power. Duan Lingtian also wanted to know how much his strength had increased after entering the upper ultimate god realm. Of course, it was not that he did not feel anything. However, he would be able to feel how much his strength had increased through actual combat. Your Excellency, can you tell me the location of the cave residence of the person they sought protection from? Duan Lingtian looked at the young man again and asked politely. The young man did not waste any time and directly led him around and pointed out the location of two cave residences at the same time. These two cave residences. The one in front is the cave residence of the person Tianhu sought protection from. The one on the left is the cave residence of the person Ao Longyu sought protection from. As soon as he finished speaking, the young man did not seem to be interested in watching the show and directly turned to leave. On the other hand, Duan Lingtian looked at the departing figure and thanked him. At the same time, he felt that the young man was somewhat mysterious. Moreover, he gave him the feeling that he was somewhat unfathomable. Could this person also be one of the strongest young geniuses in Crimson Demon's small world? Duan Lingtian could not help but have this thought. However, as soon as this thought came to his mind, he saw the young man's back disappear before his eyes. At this moment, Duan Lingtian heard whispers in his ears. Who was the person who came with Duan Lingtian just now? I've never seen him before. He should be someone who doesn't usually show up. I think I've seen most of the people here since I came in. Even Duan Lingtian is no exception. I've never seen that person before. The whispers that entered his ears came from 4 people. Among these 4 people, 2 of them hovered in the air as they looked at Duan Lingtian from afar. They had all heard the commotion caused by Duan Lingtian and the young man and came out of their cave residences to join in the fun. These people don't know that young man? At this moment, even Duan Lingtian could not help but frown slightly when he heard the whispers of the 4 people. While Duan Lingtian was frowning, the figure of the young man who had long disappeared before Duan Lingtian's eyes gradually turned into nothingness, leaving only a faint voice. I wonder if this young man will be a match for those 2, after entering the upper ultimate god realm. If Duan Lingtian was there and heard this voice, he would definitely recognize it as the voice of the supreme expert who had imprisoned him, Crimson Demon. Obviously, the young man who had shown Duan Lingtian the way was the young man that Crimson Demon had transformed into. He had transformed into such a person to show Duan Lingtian the way. Although he did not know much about Duan Lingtian, he also knew that any normal person would not let Ao Longyu and Tianhu off so easily after what had happened to Duan Lingtian, unless the 2 of them had died in the secret realm previously. After Duan Lingtian walked out of his cave residence, the first thing he asked Crimson Demon was if Ao Longyu and Tianhu had walked out of the secret realm alive. It should be Crimson Demon's transformation. After frowning for a moment, Duan Lingtian vaguely guessed who the young man was. He was obviously not a person who lived in seclusion. Otherwise, he would not be so familiar with Ao Longyu and Tianhu's situation. If he was not a person who lived in seclusion, It was impossible for him not to know the four people in front of him. Therefore, there was only one explanation: that young man was Crimson Demon's transformation. As for the purpose, it was obvious that he wanted to see him fight with the two young geniuses who had protected Ao Longyu and Tianhu to see his strength after his breakthrough. This Crimson Demon really thinks highly of me. When I had just broken through, he said that he wanted to open the secret realm. When I walked out of the cave residence, he transformed into a person and led the way for me. Even Duan Lingtian could feel how highly Crimson Demon thought of him at this moment. It was obvious that he really thought of him as one of the most suitable targets for possession. Now, it's time to find the two of them and settle the old score. After a few moments, Duan Lingtian regained his senses. His eyes gleamed fiercely as he disappeared from his original spot. When he reappeared, he had already teleported to the cave abode of the young genius who was protecting Ao Longyu. Duan Lingtian stood in the air and looked down at the cave residence below him. He said indifferently, "Ao Longyu, are you coming out yourself, or do you want me to drag you out?" Although Duan Lingtian's tone was indifferent and his voice was not loud, it contained divine power and was extremely penetrating. In the blink of an eye, it covered a large area around him. There were more than 10 young geniuses in Crimson Demon's small world who had cultivated in this area. Therefore, almost everyone heard Duan Lingtian's voice. Duan Lingtian? Tianhu, who was cultivating, instantly woke up when he heard the voice. His face darkened slightly as he walked out of the cave residence's stone room and headed outside. Tianhu. At this moment, a cold voice was heard from another stone room in the cave residence. Duan Lingtian has now stepped into the upper ultimate god realm. Tianhu's face changed drastically when he heard this, and he instantly stopped in his tracks. At the same time, a figure slowly walked out from the stone room where the voice came from. It was the young man who had accepted Tianhu's storage ring and promised to protect him. The young man was also recognized as one of the strongest young geniuses in Crimson Demon's small world. The young man had also walked out of the secret realm unscathed previously. He had also come out before Duan Lingtian. End of chapter. Chapter 43-93. A higher ultimate god. Tianhu had never imagined that the middle-level ultimate god who had scared him and Ao Longyu away 30 years ago would be a high-level ultimate god now. Before Shangguan Jun spoke, he was confident that he would not be afraid of Duan Lingtian if he teamed up with Ao Longyu. However, when he heard Shangguan Jun say that Duan Lingtian had become a higher ultimate god, his expression changed and his heart trembled. Even his body that was leaning forward stiffened. When he heard Duan Lingtian's voice earlier, he could not help but feel excited. He did not even notice the fluctuation of divine power when the voice spread out. Now that he felt the faint fluctuation of divine power left behind by the voice, he was certain of one thing. Duan Lingtian had indeed made a breakthrough. Young Master Jun, Tianhu looked at Shangguan Jun with an unpleasant expression. If he can deal with Ao Longyu and Sun Jiao, he will definitely come to me. At that time Shangguan Jun snorted coldly. If I knew he would make a breakthrough, I wouldn't have accepted your gift. Come with me to find Ao Longyu and Sun Jiao. Although Shangguan Jun was confident in his own strength, he did not dare to underestimate Duan Lingtian. Even if Duan Lingtian was not as strong as him, he was not far away from him. Now that Duan Lingtian had made a breakthrough and stepped into the higher ultimate god realm, even if he had not consolidated his cultivation base, the qualitative change in his divine power had made Duan Lingtian even more terrifying. If Shangguan Jun were to fight Duan Lingtian now, he would not have much confidence in defeating him. Although he was one of the strongest among the group of young geniuses in Crimson Demon's little world, and was not weaker than the others, however, among the top higher ultimate gods, he was only in the second tier. Now that Duan Lingtian has made a breakthrough, even if his strength is not in the first tier, I'm afraid he's not far away. If I were to fight him, not only would I have no chance of winning, I might even be defeated after a stalemate. Shangguan Jun looked calm on the surface, but he could not help but feel anxious. If he had known that Duan Lingtian would make a breakthrough so quickly, he would not have agreed to protect Tianhu 30 years ago. Because he knew Duan Lingtian was not to be trifled with, Shangguan did not want to wait for Duan Lingtian to come to him. He brought Tianhu with him to find Sun Zhiyao and Ao Longyu. Sun Zhiyao was the young genius that Ao Longyu had paid a great price to find to protect him. In the small world within Crimson Demon's body, Sun Zhiyao was a character on par with Shangguan Swoosh. Swoosh. When Shangguan and Tianhu arrived outside Sun Zhiyao's cave, Sun Zhiyao was also coming out with Ao Longyu. When they saw Shangguan and Tianhu, although the four of them didn't communicate, they still tacitly gathered together. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. At the same time, figures began to gather from all directions. Apart from Duan Lingtian, Ao Longyu, and the other three who were standing in the air facing him, there were a total of 11 people. These 11 people, including Duan Lingtian and the other four, were the remaining young geniuses in Crimson Demon's little world. The others had all perished in the last secret realm that had been opened. You two, are you planning to protect them? Duan Lingtian and Ao Longyu stood facing each other and calmly looked at them. At the same time, his gaze fell on Shangguan and Sun Zhiyao. He had some impression of these two people. The last time he entered the secret realm, they were also nearby when he fought with Peng Pusha. Of course, at that time, he didn't know that these two people were two of the strongest young geniuses in Crimson Demon's little world. Facing Duan Lingtian's gaze, Shangguan frowned slightly, then relaxed. Duan Lingtian, before the secret realm opens in 3 months, I won't allow you to touch Tianhu. If you want to touch him, wait until the next secret realm ends. I can promise you that if he comes out alive the next time, I won't protect him, no matter how much he has to pay. Shangguan words were very sincere. That's what I meant. Before Duan Lingtian could speak, Sun Zhiyao, a young man in blue with an ordinary appearance, spoke first, echoing Shangguan words. And the one he was protecting wasn't Tianhu, but Ao Longyu. At this time, Ao Longyu and Tianhu's expressions weren't too good. Previously, when they came out injured and asked for Shangguan and Sun Zhiyao's protection, they were not confident that they would come out alive the next time they entered the secret realm because of their serious injuries. It was also because of this that they didn't expect Shangguan and Sun Zhiyao to protect them after the next secret realm. However, what they didn't expect was that the next time the mystic realm opened, it would take so long. In the past 30 years, they had completely recovered from their injuries. At this time, their mentality was completely different from 30 years ago. Young Master Jun, brother Sun, Tianhu and Ao Longyu looked at each other and communicated with each other through voice transmission for a moment. Then, they sent voice transmissions to Shangguan and Sun Zhiyao, saying that as long as the two continued to protect them in the next secret realm, they were willing to give up everything except death. However, this time, whether it was Shangguan or Sun Zhiyao, they ignored them, let alone agree. They were not stupid. It would have been fine if Duan Lingtian was still a medium ultimate god. However, now that Duan Lingtian had become a high-level ultimate god, his strength might even be stronger than theirs. Under such circumstances, offending Duan Lingtian was undoubtedly an act of humiliation. Of course, from their point of view, they had already given Duan Lingtian a lot of face by saying those words in front of Duan Lingtian. At this moment, Tianhu and Ao Longyu panicked when faced with Shangguan and Sun Zhiyao's disregard. They didn't want to face Duan Lingtian, who had stepped into the high-level ultimate god realm. Even if they could come out alive the next secret realm, they would definitely be seriously injured. At that time, how could they resist the threat from Duan Lingtian? Although they might not be the last ones to survive in the Crimson Demon's small dimension, and even if they did, they would be possessed by the Crimson Demon. However, even if they knew this, they still hoped to live a little longer. No one wanted to die. Moreover, no one dared to say that the Crimson Demon would not let them go after finding the most suitable body for him to possess. As long as they cooperated, the Crimson Demon, as a supreme expert, could still easily erase their recent memories. Under such circumstances, the Crimson Demon did not have to worry about them spreading the news of what had happened here. No one wanted to die. Now, the dozen or so people present all wanted to live. They even hoped that one day they could leave the Crimson Demon's small dimension and regain their freedom. It's obvious that Shangguan and Sun Zhiyao are planning to join forces. It looks like Duan Lingtian's ascension to the high-level ultimate god realm has put a lot of pressure on them. The onlookers already knew that Duan Lingtian had become a high-level ultimate god. It wasn't difficult to guess the current state of Shangguan Jun and Sun Zhiyao from their whispers. Although the two of them did not say that they would join forces to deal with Duan Lingtian, Sun Zhiyao's agreement with Shangguan Jun's words clearly showed that she would stand on the same side as Shangguan Ju. It's really unbelievable. A newcomer who's only been here for a few decades can have such a great deterrent force. I wonder how strong he has become after entering the high-level ultimate god realm. Maybe he's already the strongest among us. As the crowd whispered, their gazes fell on Duan Lingtian. They were curious about Duan Lingtian's reaction. Of course, most people felt that Duan Lingtian would choose to give in for the time being. After all, if Duan Lingtian decided to make things difficult for them, he would not only have to face Sun Zhiyao and Shangguan Jun, but both of them as well. In addition, if there was a chance, whether it was Ao Longyu or Tianhu, they would definitely not miss the opportunity to kill Duan Lingtian. Everyone's eyes were focused on Duan Lingtian at this moment. Duan Lingtian stared calmly at Shangguan Jun and Sun Zhiyao and said indifferently, "If I want to kill the two of them, I'm afraid you won't be able to stop me." His words immediately caused an uproar among the crowd. What arrogance! This was the first thought that rose in everyone's mind. How arrogant! Shangguan Jun laughed in anger. You can try. Sun Zhiyao was also a little angry. This time, Duan Lingtian did not speak again. His body swayed and two law avatars charged out with swords. They were his Law of Space and Law of Time avatars. These two law avatars were also the strongest among all of his law avatars. However, when the two law avatars charged out to meet Shangguan Jun and Sun Zhiyao, who had also attacked, they did not fight them head-on. Instead, they used the Law of Time and Law of Space to restrain them. In terms of strength, they were only law avatars. Naturally, they were no match for Shangguan Jun and Sun Zhiyao. However, Duan Lingtian's law avatars were not going to defeat or even kill the two of them. He only needed the two law avatars to restrain the two of them. At the same time, Duan Lingtian's original body sent a voice transmission to Shangguan Jun and Sun Zhiyao. His tone was extremely calm. Gentlemen, as long as you don't defeat my law avatars, I can continue to coexist peacefully with the two of you. If my law avatars are defeated, I won't hold back if I meet the two of you in the secret realm 3 months from now. As soon as Shangguan Jun and Sun Zhiyao regained their senses, their expressions darkened. At the same time, Duan Lingtian's divine energy surged, and the law of time began to circulate at an even faster speed. At the same time, the energy from the divine tree of life and the 5 divine elements surged out of his body. Swoosh! Duan Lingtian turned his body into a sword. A huge, dazzling rainbow sword ray with seemingly endless vitality and the mysterious 5 divine elements shot toward Ao Longyu and Tianhu. Boom! Rumble! As soon as the sword appeared, the wind and clouds stirred. Terrifying waves of air swept out, causing the onlookers to instinctively retreat a little. Bang! Whoosh! The originally perfect scenery beneath their feet instantly turned into a huge pit. Sand and stones flew everywhere, and the ground was devastated. Hold on for a while. Wait for young Master Jun and the others to defeat his law avatars. Tianhu roared. After greeting Ao Longyu, he also mobilized the divine power that he had been accumulating for a long time. The power of law roared, and the divine weapon shone brightly as it met the huge sword ray head-on. Ao Longyu also had a fierce look on his face. He followed Tianhu and attacked together with him. He knew that he had no other choice now. Chapter 4394. Whether it was Tianhu or Ao Longyu, they did not think that they would be a match for Duan Lingtian if they joined forces with Sun Ziyuan and Shangguan Jun. Therefore, although Sun Ziyuan and Shangguan Jun were being held back by Duan Lingtian's avatars, they were not discouraged. They felt that as long as they could hold on for a while, Sun Ziyuan and Shangguan Jun would be able to defeat Duan Lingtian's avatars and come to their aid. Whoosh! A gigantic 7-colored sword ray streaked across the sky, seemingly covering the sky and the sun. The rising power made everyone present feel a chill run down their spines. Duan Lingtian is too scary. Duan Ling Tian's current strength is definitely the strongest among us. It was unwise of Ao Longyu and Tianhu to offend him. Last time, although I didn't like Duan Ling Tian, I didn't want to provoke him. Now that I think about it, I'm really scared. If they had really offended him, I'm afraid Ao Longyu and Tianhu would not be the only ones who would be in trouble today. Looking at Sun Ziyuan and Shang Guanjuan's previous statements, it's obvious that they don't intend to protect Tianhu and Ao Longyu after this secret territory. The dozen or so onlookers whispered to each other. Now, their thoughts were similar to Tianhu and Ao Longyu's. They felt that Sun Ziyuan and Shang Guanjuan would soon defeat Duan Lingtian's avatars and join forces with Tianhu and Ao Longyu to deal with Duan Lingtian. However, what happened next was beyond everyone's expectations. Faced with the menacing Duan Lingtian, Ao Longyu and Tianhu were still suppressed by Duan Lingtian even though they did not dare to hold back. Duan Lingtian's sword ray that covered the sky easily crushed Ao Longyu and Tianhu's attacks again and again. Although their attacks were not weak, they only managed to slow down the speed of Duan Lingtian's sword ray. The sword ray's strength did not seem to be depleted. What are they doing? After a while, both Ao Longyu and Tianhu could not help but panic. This was because they realized that while they were resisting Duan Lingtian's attacks with all their might, Sun Ziyuan and Shang Guanjuan were still being held back by Duan Lingtian's avatars. They did not think that Duan Lingtian's avatars could really hold them back for long. Holding them back for a while was already the limit. It was impossible to hold them back for so long. Are you waiting for Sun and Shang Guanjuan? Duan Lingtian's avatars. Duan Lingtian and Shang Guanjuan and Shang Guanjuan's and Shang Guanjuan and Shang Guanjuan. If they dare destroy my SS Guanjuan, I will not show mercy if I meet them in the next time I meet them in the secret territory. If you are waiting for them to come to your aid, I'm afraid you will be waiting in vain. Although Duan Lingtian's voice was calm and did not contain any unusual emotions, when it reached Ao Longyu and Tianhu's ears, it was no different from a bolt from the blue. At this moment, the confusion in their hearts was completely resolved. It turned out that Duan Lingtian had secretly threatened Sun Ziyuan and Shang Guanjuan. Moreover, seeing how Sun Ziyuan and Shang Guanjuan were slacking off, it was obvious that Duan Lingtian's threat had taken effect. At that moment, when they thought of the benefits they had given Sun Ziyuan and Shang Guanjuan, they were so angry that they almost vomited blood. Under such circumstances, how could they fight against Duan Lingtian? Ao Longyu and Shang Guanjuan, who were not Duan Lingtian's match to begin with, had a mental breakdown. Even their resistance against Duan Lingtian's attacks had slowed down and completely lost their balance. Under such circumstances, Duan Lingtian's attacks had completely crushed their attacks and swept them away. In the next moment, the two figures were completely annihilated. Two high-level ultimate gods, both of whom were powerful, had been completely obliterated by Duan Lingtian in the blink of an eye, leaving no trace behind. If there were any traces left behind, it would be the divine tools and storage rings that they had left behind. Two upper-level ultimate gods had fallen. The group of onlookers also fell silent at this time. The two people who were still alive just a moment ago were gone in the blink of an eye. At the same time, Duan Lingtian's nomological avatars also retreated and returned to Duan Lingtian's body. Shang Guanjuan and Sun Ziyuan also stopped their acting at this time. They glanced at Duan Lingtian at the same time. After a flash of unwillingness in their eyes, they did not say anything and directly turned to return to their cave abodes. Today, it could be said that they had lost all face. The people whom they had promised to protect had all died in front of their eyes. Moreover, they also knew that the people present could see that they had gone easy on Duan Lingtian in the end. It was also because of this that they felt particularly ashamed. After Shang Guanjuan and Sun Ziyuan left, Duan Lingtian did not intend to argue with them and directly turned to return to his cave abode. This time, he came out to settle the score with Ao Longyu and Tianhu. Now that he had achieved his goal, there was naturally no need for him to hang around outside. Now, the most important thing for him was to further improve his strength so that he could have a chance to escape from the small world in the Crimson Demon's body and even escape from the Crimson Demon's control. After Duan Lingtian left, the remaining people could not help but sigh. Ao Longyu and Tianhu are too unlucky. I didn't expect Shang Guanjuan and Sun Ziyuan to give up on Ao Longyu and Tianhu in the end. They are not very kind. These two aren't good people either. All in all, their credibility is now zero. Everyone, be careful. If you meet them in the secret realm, even if you want to cooperate, you have to be wary of them. Transmigration Realm. Luo Territory, one of the upper three regions. Sun Family. As one of the top three forces in the upper three regions of the Transmigration Realm, the Sun Family had an ultimate powerhouse. It was publicly recognized as a first-class clan in the Transmigration Realm. Every time the ultimate powerhouse of the Sun Family returned to the Sun Family, the people of the Sun Family would welcome him back as if he was a saint. The entire process was very grand. In the eyes of the ordinary disciples of the Sun Family, the ultimate powerhouse ancestor was the Sun Family's god. He was high and mighty and could not be profaned. This time, the return of the ultimate powerhouse of the Sun Family gave the Sun Family a feeling that a storm was coming. One of the most outstanding people of the Sun Family's younger generation, Sun Yuqian, was kneeling in the Sun Family's main hall. Beside him, there was a middle-aged man kneeling there. At this moment, Sun Yuqian's face was filled with disbelief, while Sun Long's face was filled with helplessness and regret. Tell me every detail of your encounter with him. In the Sun Family's main hall, the person sitting was not the current patriarch of the Sun Family, but the pillar of the Sun Family, the only ultimate powerhouse of the Sun Family, Sun Pingyun. Sun Pingyun did not return to the Sun Family frequently. If there was nothing important, he would not return to the Sun Family. This time, he returned to the Sun Family for only one thing. A few decades ago, the middle-level supreme god who left the reincarnation realm's stronghold in the outer land right under his nose and left the Sun Family side was most likely the strongest among the younger generation in the god-defying world, Duan Lingtian. Now, not only did he know about this matter, but the other ultimate powerhouses in the reincarnation realm also knew about it. One by one, they came to ask him for the divine corporeal spring. This was because in the eyes of these ultimate powerhouses, Duan Lingtian was able to leave under Sun Pingyun's nose. Sun Pingyun and even the Sun Family behind him must have received benefits from Duan Lingtian. However, only Sun Pingyun knew that he did not receive any benefits at all. In fact, he did not even know that the middle-level supreme god who went to the reincarnation realm's stronghold in the Outer Land through the Sun Family's teleportation formation was Duan Lingtian from the Outer Land. Therefore, after confirming this matter, he left behind a group of ultimate powerhouses who came to find him and returned to the Sun Family as soon as possible. He also confirmed who Duan Lingtian used the Sun Family's teleportation formation in the Outer Land through the Sun Family. Sun Yuqian was the key figure. When Sun Yuqian and Duan Lingtian met and got to know each other, Sun Long was also next to them. Chapter 4395. Sun Yuqian knelt on the ground with a look of disbelief on his face. He never thought that big brother Li Feng, who saved him in the past, would be the peerless genius of the god-defying world, Duan Lingtian. In fact, he had heard of Duan Lingtian's name. After all, he was the outstanding genius of the younger generation of the Luo region's Sun Clan in the upper three regions of the world of reincarnation. Usually, he would talk to the upper echelons of the Sun Clan directly. Occasionally, he would hear all kinds of rumors about Duan Lingtian. He was a real monster. He was born in the lowest realm of the god-defying world and rose rapidly. At just a little over 1,000 years old, he had strength that was not weaker than most of the upper ultimate gods. He even had a heaven-defying opportunity and had the ultimate treasure, the divine corrupting spring, that many supreme experts would kill for. Sun Yuqian was stunned. Sun Long, who was next to him, told the Sun Clan's supreme expert, Sun Pingyun, about how they met Duan Lingtian in full detail. Hearing what you said, he saved Yuqian's life. Sun Pingyun's gaze quickly fell on Sun Yuqian. He also paid some attention to the most outstanding young genius of the Sun Clan's younger generation. However, Sun Pingyun paused. Speaking of this, Sun Pingyun paused for a moment, and his gaze became much sharper. I have a feeling that there is no such coincidence in this world. He saved Yuqian, and our Sun Clan has the transportation formation that he needs to go to the outer realm, Even if he said that he didn't plan to come to our Sun clan. Who knows if that was a smoke bomb he set up? Sun Pingyun was the only supreme expert of the Sun clan. At the same time, he was also the one who had lived the longest in the Sun clan. After living for a long time, his horizons were naturally wider. In fact, what Sun Pingyun said was also what Sun Yuqian was thinking. In the past, he had never suspected that his encounter with his savior, Li Feng, was a meticulous plan. However, now that he heard the supreme expert of the Sun clan say so, he felt that there were many suspicious points. Firstly, the other party had concealed his identity. Secondly, the other party was from the god-defying realm. When they came to the world of reincarnation, they happened to save him, the most outstanding disciple of the Sun family's younger generation. Moreover, through him, they used the Sun family's teleportation array to go to the outer realm. It had to be known that that person, in the god-defying realm, did not dare to rashly pass through the teleportation array of the outer realm to the outer realm. The reason for that was because that person possessed something that would cause even the eyes of the utmost experts to turn red. God-corrupting spring. Patriarch. Sun Yuqian took a deep breath, buried his head on the ground, and said in a heavy tone, "This matter is my fault from the beginning to the end. It has nothing to do with second uncle. Ancestor, if you have any punishment, just give it to me. Please do not punish second uncle." Sun Yuqian had taken all the blame. Yuqian. Sun Long's expression changed when he heard Sun Yuqian's words. If this nephew of his took all the blame, as long as the old ancestor gave the word, his nephew would have no chance of becoming the Sun family's patriarch. Humph. Sun Pingyun snorted. "You're quite loyal. Since you want to take all the blame, I'll fulfill your wish. From today onwards, you, Sun Yuqian, are removed from the direct line of disciples. When you become an upper ultimate god, you can enter the direct line of disciples." Sun Pingyun's words caused Sun Long's expression to change drastically. It also caused the group of Sun family's higher-ups who valued Sun Yuqian and had always supported Sun Yuqian to change their expressions. Patriarch. Sun Long took the lead to stand up. "I didn't do a good job in this matter. Yuqian is a junior and has little experience in dealing with people. That's why he made such a mistake. In the end, it's because I, as an elder, did not supervise him well." Sun Long was really anxious. Once his nephew was kicked out of the Sun family's direct line of disciples, it also meant that his disciple would have no chance of becoming the patriarch before he became an upper ultimate god. And before that, his nephew's competitor would have already become the new patriarch. The Sun family's patriarch was not completely determined by strength. In addition, once a new patriarch was elected, as long as the new patriarch did not break the family's rules, he would basically be the patriarch for 10,000 years. The Sun family's patriarch position had always been changed once every 10,000 years. If there was a suitable candidate, it would be changed once every 10,000 years. If there was no suitable candidate at the moment, it would be postponed until there was a suitable candidate. It had always been like this. Patriarch. After Sun Long, many higher-ups of the Sun family also spoke up for Sun Yuqian. However, as Sun Pingyun's cold gaze swept across them, under the pressure of an ultimate expert, these people all shut their mouths and did not dare to say a word. Even Sun Long was the same. "This matter is settled," Sun Pingyun said calmly. Sun Pingyun said indifferently, "From now on, this matter is over." Now, although Sun Pingyun's expression was calm, he was still a little depressed in his heart. He did not get any benefits and was misunderstood to have gotten a lot of benefits. Next, he still had to deal with those troublesome people. Duan Lingtian naturally did not know that his identity had been exposed in the reincarnation realm. Moreover, the experts in the reincarnation realm also knew that he had gone to the outer realm through the Sun family's outer realm teleportation formation. After this news spread in the reincarnation realm, it quickly spread back to the god-defying realm. In the endless void, on a small floating island in the endless void, in a pavilion, a middle-aged man stood respectfully to the side and reported to the young man inside. "Master, Duan Lingtian has now reached the outer realm." Hearing the report, the young man inside only responded faintly. "Master, such a genius is only a medium ultimate god. letting him enter the outer realm. Isn't it a little too cruel? In fact, as long as you say it, no one in the God-defying realm would dare to have any ideas about him. The middle-aged man obviously hesitated for a while before saying this. Why? Are you worried that he will die halfway? The young man asked faintly. The middle-aged man was silent for a moment and nodded. A little. Although in his opinion, the little fellow's experiences along the way could be said to be legendary, it was in the God-defying realm after all. Once he left the God-defying realm and arrived at the outer world, he would face an even more dangerous test. In the history of the God-defying realm, there were many peerless geniuses who went smoothly in the God-defying realm. However, when they walked out of the God-defying realm and went to the outer realm, they died not long after. Even if he dies, it's his own fate. The young man continued. Moreover, his strength is enough to survive in the outer realm in a low-key manner. If he is too arrogant and gets killed, it can only be said that he is stupid. Although he also valued Duan Lingtian very much and knew that he was a rare genius in the God-defying realm for many years. However, he also knew that if such a genius did not make a name for himself, even if he was a genius now, it would be difficult for him to have greater achievements in the future. Perhaps he would only become an ordinary existence among the supreme experts. In the God-defying realm, there was no lack of such existences. The God-defying realm. Since Master's death, there has been no supreme expert who can rank in the top 30 in the myriad worlds. Now, the God-defying realm is peaceful, mostly because of Master's deterrence. If they confirm that Master is no longer here, the God-defying realm won't be so peaceful anymore. This was the young man's sigh in his heart. The middle-aged man could not hear his sigh. All right, if there's nothing else, you may leave. As the young man spoke, the middle-aged man responded respectfully and left. After the middle-aged man left, the young man looked at the endless void in front of him and sighed. That step is too difficult. The two senior uncles have placed their hopes on me. They think too highly of me. Although I've reached the same level of strength as them and am only a step away from the Universe Master stage, it's more difficult than ascending to the heavens to take a step further and step into the Universe Master stage. Throughout the history of the myriad worlds, there were no more than 40 Universe Masters at their peak. Now, there are less than 30 Universe Masters. And this is including Master. In the myriad worlds, there are at least 800 if not 1,000 existences like me and my two senior uncles. The young man's sigh was filled with helplessness. Duan Lingtian's innate talent and comprehension are amazing. However, if I personally nurture him, I'm afraid he'll at most be like my two senior uncles and won't be able to enter the Universe Master stage for the rest of his life. Throughout the myriad worlds, none of the powerhouses who can enter the Universe Master stage are flowers in a greenhouse. Without exception, they all relied on themselves to fight and grow in the outer realm. The outer realm is the best training ground in Whetstone. In the outer realm, near the Crimson Demon Ridge, in the little world in the Crimson Demon's body, Duan Lingtian naturally did not know that the supreme experts in the God-defying realm had high expectations of him. Currently, he was focused on improving his cultivation base before the next secret realm in the little world in the Crimson Demon's inner realm opened. Even if he could not completely consolidate his cultivation base in such a short time, as long as he improved, the chances of him escaping from the little world in the Crimson Demon's inner realm would be higher. Finally, 3 months had passed. The secret realm in the little world in the Crimson Demon's inner realm had officially opened. Swoosh. After Duan Lingtian left his cave, he walked toward the entrance of the secret realm. When he arrived at the entrance of the secret realm, it was not difficult to see that there were already a few people standing there and talking to each other. When they saw Duan Lingtian, they stopped talking and even greeted Duan Lingtian enthusiastically. Brother Lingtian, are you ready to enter the secret realm? Brother Lingtian, if we meet in the secret realm, please take care of me. Brother Lingtian. These people had not interacted with Duan Lingtian before, but now, they took the initiative to greet Duan Lingtian and build a relationship with Duan Lingtian. If it was the Duan Lingtian of the past, naturally, he would not let them do so. After all, the few of them were able to survive until now because they were really capable. Even if they were not as good as Sun Jiao and Shangguan Jun, in terms of individual strength, they were not weaker than Ao Longyu and Tian Hu. In the battle 3 months ago, Duan Lingtian's strength had completely made them lose their temper. Chapter 4396. All right. Duan Lingtian nodded and smiled in response to their enthusiasm. He did not have any conflicts with these people. Since they had taken the initiative to greet him, he could not ignore them. At the same time, he sighed in his heart and grieved for them. It would be great if he could succeed this time. If he failed, his ending would be no different from theirs. Duan Lingtian did not linger at the entrance of the secret realm and flew into the secret realm. Next, it's up to the Divine Tree of Life and Sister Shui. Although he had to contribute to the escape plan this time, the Divine Tree of Life and the 5 divine elements were the main leaders. The key was still the Divine Tree of Life. This was because their plan was targeted at the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's small world. It could be said that both Duan Lingtian and the 5 divine elements were only the assistants of the Divine Tree of Life in Duan Lingtian's small world. What they needed to do was to help Duan Lingtian escape from the Crimson Demon's small world through the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's small world. Before Duan Lingtian stepped into the intermediate ultimate God realm, the Divine Tree of Life had told the world-cleansing divine water that there was a 50% chance of success. It had also said that if Duan Lingtian could become a higher ultimate god, the chances of success would increase to more than 80%. An 80% chance of success. In fact, it was considered very likely. However, Duan Lingtian was not happy about it. After all, even if there was an 80% chance of success, there was still a 20% chance of failure. In other words, even if there was a 1% difference between a 99% chance of success and a 100% chance of success, if there was a 1% chance of success, it would mean certain death. I'm in. After entering the secret realm, Duan Lingtian discovered that he had appeared in the sky above an ocean. The ocean was so vast that he could not see the end of it. As for him, he needed to find the correct direction to reach the center of the circle from here. The rules of the secret realm in the Crimson Demon's small world were the same. It was a big circle. Everyone was distributed on the edge of the big circle. They would then find their way to the center of the circle. Once one reached the center of the circle, one would be considered to have successfully entered the secret realm. However, although the rules were the same, the environment and scenery after entering the secret realm were constantly changing. It was not a fixed place. For example, when Duan Lingtian came in last time, he appeared in a forest. This time, they were in the sky above a sea. The sky above the sea was calm and tranquil. Duan Lingtian stood in midair as he surveyed the surroundings and observed all the movements in his surroundings. What he needed to do now was to find the direction of the center of the circle. At the same time, he contacted the world-cleansing divine water. Sister Water, how should I cooperate with you and Senior Wood Spirit? Wood Spirit was the name of the Divine Tree of Life in Duan Lingtian's small world. The world-cleansing divine water quickly replied, "Now, you just have to look for the direction of the central area and make your way there. While you're making your way through the trials, the Wood Spirit will look for the Divine Tree of Life in the little world in the Crimson Devil's body. Once it's confirmed that it has found the Divine Tree of Life, we'll transfer energy to it and help it temporarily control the Divine Tree of Life." The Divine Tree of Life in a Supreme Powerhouse's small world is usually in a dormant state since they have nothing to do. Therefore, Wood Spirit will have a chance to control it at a critical moment. Naturally, the stronger the energy Wood Spirit has, the higher the chance of controlling the Divine Tree of Life in a short period of time. In the past, the world-cleansing divine water had not told Duan Lingtian about Wood Spirit's plan. It was only now that he knew what Wood Spirit's plan was. As it turned out, Wood Spirit wanted to control the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's small world temporarily. If it succeeded, Duan Lingtian was certain Wood Spirit would be able to help him leave the small world in the Crimson Demon's small world and escape from his control. If the small world in the Crimson Demon's small world was still in his body, it would not be easy to escape. However, the small world in the Crimson Demon's small world was not in his body. It was placed near the Crimson Demon Ridge by the Crimson Demon. Although he could monitor it from a distance, if Wood Spirit controlled the Divine Tree of Life in his small world for a short period of time, it would definitely be able to escape his detection. Sister Water, feel free to let me know when you need me to help, Duan Ling Tian said to the world-cleansing divine water. His tone was no longer calm as he spoke. After all, this matter would determine whether he would be able to regain his freedom. Although he had not stopped cultivating in the small world and the Crimson Demon's small world in the past few decades, this was not a suitable place for cultivation. He could be possessed by the Crimson Demon at any time. If that happened, it would be no different from death. Now that he had a chance to escape, he naturally would not miss this opportunity. In the worst-case scenario, he would be discovered by the Crimson Demon. The Crimson Demon would either kill him immediately or monitor him closely until there was only one person left. Now, what I need to do is to find the center of the area. That's where the center of the circle is located. In the secret realm, Duan Ling Tian found the path to the center of the circle through the trees in the forest. This time, he looked around for a while but couldn't find anything that he could use as a comparison. This was because the sea beneath his feet was extremely calm. It was as though there were no living creatures in the sea. The surface of the sea is calm. Then, in this calm sea, I'll search for some clues that might be guidance and head in that direction. With this thought in mind, Duan Ling Tian became even more focused. A quarter of an hour passed, and he did not find anything. Half an hour passed, and there was still no sign of him. After about 4 hours had passed, Duan Ling Tian finally discovered some subtle clues in one direction. It was also the clues that he had discovered with his divine consciousness. There was a slight movement in the sea in that direction. If not for Duan Ling Tian's full concentration, he would not have noticed it. Go this way. After confirming the difference, Duan Ling Tian directly flew in that direction, traversing the boundless sea. About a quarter of an hour later, the first test appeared. Bang, 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 bang. The calm surface of the sea was suddenly broken by deafening noises that sounded like thunder. Huge figures broke out of the sea. They were powerful demonic beasts that emitted terrifying auras from head to toe. These demon beasts all had different shapes. Some were extremely similar to birds, some were extremely similar to beasts, and some were extremely similar to snakes and pythons. The only thing they had in common was that their entire bodies were pitch black, and they were covered in sharp scales. Their eyes were all scarlet red, and they were like bloodthirsty, frenzied demons. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. After more than 20 great demons broke out of the sea, they fixed their eyes on Duan Ling Tian and charged toward Duan Ling Tian in a frenzy. It was as though they saw Duan Ling Tian as their sworn enemy. Duan Ling Tian took out the 7 orifices exquisite sword and was about to make his move. At this moment, the world-cleansing divine water's voice rang in his ears. There's no need to make a move. The wood spirit will deal with them. Upon hearing the world-cleansing divine water's words, Duan Ling Tian froze in his tracks. But in the next moment, he saw a scene that shocked him. End of chapter. Chapter 4397. Under Duan Ling Tian's gaze, the scene before his eyes suddenly shook. In the next moment, he saw another him appearing. He was certain it was not his law clone. Moreover, he could sense that the other him had no connection with him at all. Then, he saw the other him in his eyes fighting fiercely with the great demons that broke out of the sea. Everything before him felt like a scene from a television. It was getting further and further away. This is the tree of life that the wood spirit used to invade the Crimson Demon's little world. With our help, it used the tree of life to cast the illusory Crimson Demon. The reason why it said this was because it was worried that the Crimson Demon was watching you from the beginning. If that happened, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You wouldn't be able to make any moves then, the world-cleansing divine water said, allowing Duan Ling Tian to understand everything before him. As it turned out, the wood spirit was controlling everything before him. Those great demons, however, when he recalled the strength that the great demons had displayed earlier, Duan Ling Tian could not help but feel puzzled. If everything before him was just an illusion, where had the great demons gone? The Crimson Demon used the Divine Tree of Life to control the main island through the Divine Tree of Life. Normally, even if the Divine Tree of Life is in a deep slumber, it can still be controlled by the Crimson Demon. However, the Crimson Demon also has to use the Divine Tree of Life to control it. The Divine Tree of Life is even more powerful than its master, the Crimson Demon. Therefore, when the Wood Spirit temporarily controlled the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's body, it also controlled the great demons to return to the sea. Of course, if the Crimson Demon was watching, he would have seen everything before you. This is an illusion created by the Wood Spirit through the power of the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's body. Now, let's hurry up and get down to business. You, follow my instructions and instill energy into the Wood Spirit so that it can further control the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's body. Then, before the Crimson Demon can react, help you escape from the little world in the Crimson Demon's body and completely escape from its pursuit. Upon hearing the world-cleansing Divine Water's final words, Duan Lingtian felt his blood boil. It was obvious. If that Crimson Demon discovered that he had escaped, he would definitely chase after him. At this time, whether or not they could escape the pursuit of the Scarlet Demon was very important and crucial. Begin. Not long after Duan Lingtian thought about it, the world-cleansing Divine Water's voice rang in his ears, waking him up completely. At the same time, he quickly cleared his mind and listened to the world-cleansing Divine Water's instructions. He channeled power to the tree spirit of the God of Life in his own small world. At the same time, he could sense that the tree spirit of the Divine Tree of Life in his small world was extending a burst of power that was endlessly fusing into the secret realm he was in. Then, it entered the void and disappeared. It was as if the void was a bottomless pit, and the power of the Wood Spirits was continuously flowing into it, but it was unable to fill it up. Regardless of whether it was Duan Lingtian or the world-cleansing Divine Water, it was only a guess that the Scarlet Demon might be monitoring Duan Lingtian. What they did not expect was that the moment Duan Lingtian entered the secret realm, Crimson Demon had been constantly monitoring him. As for the others, they only glanced at him occasionally. However, after observing Duan Lingtian for a while, the Scarlet Demon felt that something was amiss. Logically speaking, with this brat's strength, it's impossible for him to waste so much time in the first trial. What's he doing? The Scarlet Demon, who was in the Scarlet Demon Ridge, could see everything that was happening in the secret realm through the Divine Tree of Life that was in a deep slumber in his small world. In his eyes, Duan Lingtian and the group of great demons were evenly matched. It was difficult to determine the victor. During this process, he could also see that Duan Lingtian was not using his full strength. Could it be that he wants to rely on these great demons to comprehend something? Or could it be that he's not lacking in manpower? Could it be that the direction he chose earlier is the correct one? Could it be that he wants to see if there's any guidance in the battle with these great demons? When the Scarlet Demon thought of this, he felt relieved. If that was the case, everything could be explained. Immediately after, the Scarlet Demon's attention fell on the others. Currently, apart from Duan Lingtian, more than 10 other young geniuses, including Sun Jiao and Shangguan Jun, had entered the secret realm one after another. They also appeared in the sky above a sea. Moreover, some of them had not found the direction they were heading in. Only a few of them had confirmed the direction they were heading in and had begun to move forward. Of course, among these few people, 2 of them had taken the wrong path. If Duan Lingtian saw the 2 people who had taken the wrong path, he would definitely recognize one of them as one of the few people who had greeted him before he entered the secret realm. After taking the wrong path, this young genius barely passed the first trial and killed many great demons. At the same time, he was injured. In the second trial, he was first severely injured and then killed. I'm not satisfied. Before he died, he let out a sorrowful cry, but he immediately became food in the great demon's stomach. Not long after this young genius died, another young genius died as well. That's how it should be. The Scarlet Demon looked at everything indifferently. This time, I'll choose the body most suitable for me. I only hope that Duan Lingtian won't disappoint me. Until now, the person that the Scarlet Demon valued the most was still Duan Lingtian. If not for the ancestral teachings of his clan, he would have chosen Duan Lingtian as his new body to be on the safe side. It was also because he had decided on Duan Lingtian that he paid special attention to Duan Lingtian. However, as time passed, he discovered something that made him feel that something was amiss. When the other people that were lucky enough to survive had walked halfway and passed through half of the trials, Duan Ling Tian was still entangled with the greater demon at the first trial. It was still a draw. What's going on? This shouldn't be. What exactly is he doing? In his confusion, the Scarlet Demon began to stare at every detail of Duan Lingtian's trial. He was no longer like before when he only glanced at him casually. And with this look, he finally saw that something was wrong. An illusion? After observing for a while, the Scarlet Demon's expression changed drastically. At the same time, he roared, "Idiot!" Following Crimson Demon's explosive roar, the entire Crimson Demon Ridge heard his voice. From his personal demon guards to the Centurions and Decurions, all of their expressions changed as they trembled in fear. "Lord Scarlet Demon, who are you scolding?" This was the same thought in their minds. At the same time, they felt that the person who was scolded by Lord Scarlet Demon was most likely going to be in trouble. Ever since they were controlled by the Scarlet Demon, this was the first time they had seen the Scarlet Demon so angry and lost his composure. Whoosh! In the Scarlet Demon Ridge, a figure shot out like a beam of light and left the Scarlet Demon Ridge. At the same time, it left a long trail in the air before it disappeared. It was clear that the figure's speed was ridiculously fast. At the same time, near the Scarlet Demon Ridge, in the little world inside the Scarlet Demon's body, an angry and old voice sounded. "Which scoundrel dares to forcefully control my body while I'm asleep? Damn it, don't even think about escaping." Chapter 4398. Duan Lingtian was moving forward with all his might. His speed was ridiculously fast, and he was using all his strength. Just now, the Divine Tree of Life in his small world finally found an opportunity to control the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's small world and opened a hole to leave the Crimson Demon's small world. Moreover, after that, the Divine Tree of Life in the Crimson Demon's small world held on for a period of time before its power dissipated. Duan Ling Tian knew clearly in his heart that the Crimson Devil had most likely noticed him now. However, he did not have time to worry about anything. He was only focused on escaping. Rip! The space tore open, and Duan Lingtian flew out. After a while, he was back in the outer realm. The Crimson Demon's small world was actually still in the outer realm. After breaking open the space crack and escaping from it, he naturally returned to the outer realm. However, after returning to the outer realm, Duan Lingtian did not dare to stay in the same place and quickly fled. Whether or not I can escape the Crimson Demon's pursuit depends on now. Now, Duan Lingtian only had one thought left in his mind: escape. Day after day, Duan Lingtian continued to flee forward as if his life depended on it. When his divine power was exhausted, he quickly consumed divine pills to recover. There was no pause in the entire process. He knew that the Crimson Demon had not caught up with him for several days. He had most likely lost track of him and could not find him. However, he still did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. He was deeply afraid that he would once again fall into the Crimson Demon's clutches. This time, if he did not escape and was caught by the Crimson Demon again, it would be almost impossible for him to escape again. If that really happened, there were only two paths waiting for him. Either he died, or he was possessed by the Crimson Demon and became the Crimson Demon's new body. During the few days when Duan Lingtian was fleeing for his life, the Crimson Demon did not actually idle around. Not long after Duan Lingtian escaped, he did not even have time to reprimand the Divine Tree of Life in his small world before he chased in the direction that the Divine Tree of Life told him that Duan Lingtian had escaped. This chase went on for a few days. However, after a few days, he did not find any trace of Duan Lingtian. It was as if he had completely erased all traces of Duan Lingtian. Although he was a supreme master and his divine sense was very powerful, he did not dare to use his divine sense recklessly in the outer realm. If he provoked another supreme master, it would not be a good thing for him. During the last 10,000 years' heavenly tribulation, he was injured and had yet to fully recover. He didn't even have the confidence to survive the next 10,000 years' heavenly tribulation. Therefore, he was eager to find a new body that was suitable for him. If he were to fight with another Supreme Master at this time, it was very likely that his injuries would worsen and even affect his next plan of possession. Count yourself lucky. A few days later, the Crimson Demon stopped pursuing Duan Lingtian because he knew that even if he continued to pursue Duan Lingtian, there would most likely be no results. It was obvious that Duan Lingtian had been planning this for a long time. However, he never thought that Duan Lingtian would have such a method. I'm curious how he escaped. Because he was only focused on pursuing Duan Lingtian, the Crimson Demon did not even communicate with the sacred tree of life in his small world after the incident. He was not too clear about the details of Duan Lingtian's escape. Now, after giving up on pursuing Duan Lingtian, he returned to the vicinity of the Crimson Demon Ridge and returned to his small world. However, the first thing he did was to find the sacred tree of life. Shouldn't you give me a reasonable explanation for this matter? The Crimson Demon's tone was very unfriendly. It was not difficult to see that he was furious. I had been in a deep sleep to recuperate. When I woke up and discovered them, it was already too late. Cough, cough. An ancient voice sounded. In a place in the Crimson Demon's small world where the group of young geniuses imprisoned by the Crimson Demon could not reach, a towering tree stood there. It was very majestic, as if it could support the heavens and the earth. If Duan Lingtian saw this towering tree now, he would feel that the sacred tree of life in his small world was only a small and insignificant tree in front of it. I also made a move as soon as I woke up, but it was still too late. I did not dare to use too much power, afraid that it would affect your possession. The owner of the ancient voice was the sacred tree of life in the Crimson Demon's small world. At this moment, the vitality around the sacred tree of life was clearly somewhat dim, giving off a feeling that it had exhausted too much. There were even cracks on the tree trunk, and if one looked closely, one could see that it was covered in scars. As the sacred tree of life in the Crimson Demon's small world, it would usually lend a helping hand when the Crimson Demon faced enemies and needed help. However, the injuries on its body did not come from the battle between the Crimson Demon and the other supreme powerhouses. Instead, it came from the last 10,000 years' heavenly tribulation that the Crimson Demon faced. At that time, if it had not acted in time and endured the heavenly tribulation as the Crimson Demon would have died under that heavenly tribulation. Hearing the sacred tree of life's words and feeling the extremely weak aura of the sacred tree of life, the Crimson Demon's expression changed. In the end, he let out a long sigh. Perhaps this is the legendary peerless monster. I should have been more careful. Looking at the history of the myriad of worlds, the more monstrous an existence is, the more difficult it is to kill and the harder it is to suffer a tribulation. I was muddle-headed for a moment. You can't be blamed for this matter. You need to sleep to recover from your previous injuries. It's already difficult for you to support the operation of the secret realm to deal with them. The Crimson Demon sighed. Among the remaining people, choose the most suitable one for you. Success or failure will depend on this one move. My remaining strength and the burning of my original body should be enough to support you to complete the possession. I was born in your small world, and I see you as my father and mother. I'm willing to give up everything for you. The old voice continued. As the sacred tree of life in the Crimson Demon's small world, it naturally had to contribute in the process of the Crimson Demon's possession. Moreover, it was responsible for a very important part. For this reason, not only did it have to exhaust its strength, but it also had to burn its original body to prolong the Crimson Demon's life and possession. After that, although it would not disappear, it would consume 80 to 90% of its strength and fall into a deep sleep for a long time. Only when the Crimson Demon, who had possessed a new body, became a sovereign again would there be hope for it to awaken again. Of course, once the Crimson Demon's possession failed, it would also collapse along with the Crimson Demon's death. Not every divine tree of life could survive the fall of its owner. Only those sacred trees of life that had been closely intertwined with the power of the realm for a long time would be able to survive after their master died. If they were lucky, they might even be able to regain their vitality. For example, the wood spirit, the sacred tree of life in Duan Lingtian's small world, was one of these sacred trees of life. In the past, the wood spirit was the master of one of the 18 realms of gods in the divine defying realm. He was one of the frontline guardians of the divine-defying realm. The little world in his small world was one of the realms of gods in the divine-defying realm at that time. It had intersected with the realm energy of the divine-defying realm and protected it for many years, allowing the sacred tree of life to absorb a large amount of the realm energy of the divine-defying realm. It was for this reason that the sacred tree of life in his small world did not die after the wood spirit died. The reason the sacred tree of life was able to survive until Duan Lingtian found it was because it had one of the 5 divine elements, the world-cleansing divine water, which provided it with a large amount of nourishment. Naturally, if Duan Lingtian did not find it, it would not have been able to survive even with the help of the world-cleansing divine water. This was because the nourishment provided by the world-cleansing divine water was not equal to the nourishment it consumed. The nourishment it consumed was greater than the nourishment provided by the world-cleansing divine water. It was not until Duan Lingtian found it and gathered the 5 divine elements to help it recover that it became as strong as it was today. I understand. Upon hearing the sacred tree of life's words, Crimson Demon nodded. I'll increase the difficulty of the secret realm this time. Only one of them will survive. Humph. That Duan Lingtian better not let me see him again. Otherwise, I'll kill him even if I don't have the chance to possess him again. How dare he run away? How dare he defy me? Damn it! Duan Lingtian was unaware that Crimson Demon was infuriated by his escape. Crimson Demon was even shouting that he would kill Duan Lingtian if he encountered him again after he successfully possessed Duan Lingtian's body. Naturally, this was also because Duan Lingtian did not know about this. If he knew, not only would he not be afraid, but he would also be looking forward to Crimson Demon coming to find him. That would be a good opportunity for him to avenge being imprisoned by Crimson Demon and almost dying. I should be safe now, right? After running for a month, Duan Lingtian finally stopped running for his life. Although it seemed like he was running around recklessly, he was actually avoiding the territories of various forces. He was afraid that he would accidentally enter the territory of a supreme powerhouse like he did when he entered Crimson Demon Ridge. It would be fine if the supreme powerhouse was easy to talk to. However, if the supreme powerhouse was similar to Crimson Demon, he would be like a lamb in a tiger's den again. Along the way, I've seen a few dilapidated cities. There are many living beings in those cities. There are humans and great demons. There are great demons who have taken human forms, and there are also great demons who are in their true forms. There are even some plant-type great demons. Along the way, Duan Lingtian had seen the splendor of many places. He knew that even in the outer realm, there were places for people to exchange and trade. There's a city in front as well. I'll go in and take a look. I'll also find out where in the outer realm this is. Duan Lingtian looked at the dilapidated city in front of him. It could even be said that it was half in ruins. He flew closer. At the same time, he could also see many figures entering and leaving the dilapidated city. Chapter 4399. When Duan Lingtian entered the dilapidated city, no one paid any attention to him. This was because there were many young people like him who entered and exited the city every day. If one did not use their divine consciousness to probe deeper, it would be difficult to tell how old a person was. Many old antiques who had lived for tens of thousands of years also liked to appear young in front of others. Therefore, no one would think that anyone who looked young was really young, and no one would think that someone who looked young was easy to bully. Perhaps some people were really young and easy to bully, but there were also some people who were not really young. Once they were provoked, it would be like kicking an iron plate and inviting disaster. This place, as Duan Lingtian walked into the dilapidated city, he could see people gathered in groups of 2 or 3. Some people had taken out some items and placed them in the void in front of them, waiting for others to inquire about the price. These people were all people who wanted to barter. They were using treasures that they did not need or did not need for the time being to exchange for treasures that they needed. Of course, those who had the courage to show off their treasures here were basically people who were confident in their own strength. Moreover, most people who dared to show off their treasures in public would not easily take out treasures that would interest someone more powerful than them. This was because no one wanted to bring about a fatal disaster just because of one or two treasures. Some people were better off, as they would spare your life after stealing your treasures. However, there were also people who would take your life after taking your treasures. This was called cutting the weeds and eliminating the roots. After walking around, Duan Lingtian saw some things that were useful to him. He also asked the other party about it. However, he did not have what the other party wanted. As for the most precious item in his possession, it should be the divine containment spring. Of course, he could not take out the divine corrupting spring. That was something that even immortals would kill for. Once he took it out, it would be extremely difficult for him to obtain it. He was not afraid of those who were not immortals. However, what if an immortal attacked him? When he thought about the immortal Crimson Demon, Duan Lingtian only felt powerless. An immortal is too strong. Unless one is an immortal, it's impossible to fight against him. At this time, Duan Lingtian also thought of the reason why he was in such a hurry to leave the god-defying realm. It was Yun Qingyan, who had become one with a supreme expert. Now, even if the other party appeared before him, there was nothing he could do. However, even though he couldn't take out the god-accumulating spring water, the divine pills in Duan Lingtian's hands could still attract some people to barter for them. Through this, Duan Lingtian was able to obtain some things he needed. Now that he had just entered the upper ultimate god realm, the most urgent thing for him was to completely consolidate his cultivation base. The things he exchanged for were basically all beneficial to this. After he was done exchanging, Duan Lingtian walked around the city that was in ruins. He noticed that there wasn't a single building that was still intact, and there wasn't a single person living here. The people here were all passers-by, or people who had specially come here to trade. According to what the senior from the Xia family said, not every place in the outer realm is a pile of ruined cities. There are also some intact cities in the hands of some powerful forces. There are more people in those cities. The area I'm in is considered a remote area in the outer realm. After walking around the city, he found many things that he wanted. He tried to exchange for them one by one. During this process, he also found that more and more people were staring at him. Some of them did not even try to hide the greed in their eyes. It was as if they wanted to rob him of everything. However, he did not care about this. Currently, in the outer realm, there were not many people among the upper divine clans who could make him afraid as long as the supreme experts did not make a move. Although most of these people were upper ultimate gods, he was not afraid of them. It's fine if they don't provoke me. If they come knocking on my door, they can only blame themselves for being unlucky. After exchanging for some things, Duan Lingtian left the ruined city. As soon as he left, he discovered that there were more than a dozen little tails behind him. Among them, there were a few groups of people who followed him in groups. Duan Lingtian simply turned around after flying for a distance and looked indifferently at the more than 10 figures in the distance who had stopped as well. His eyes flashed with a bright light. These dozen or so people would never have thought that after discovering that they were following him, not only did he not continue to flee, he even stopped. Was he planning to give up resisting and obediently hand over the things? If anyone continues to follow me, I'll kill him. Duan Lingtian's cold eyes swept across the dozen people in front of him as he spoke. His voice was cold and intimidating. As soon as Duan Lingtian spoke, more than half of them sneered. A guy who has just entered the upper divine master realm. How arrogant. He probably thinks that we haven't seen through his cultivation level. A few of them sneered. Duan Lingtian turned a deaf ear to these sneers and continued on his way. The dozen people behind him continued to follow. Seeing this, Duan Lingtian stopped again and teleported to the dozen people at the same time. The 7 orifices exquisite sword appeared in his hand, and a 7-colored sword light whizzed out. Duan Lingtian did not even need the help of the divine tree of life and the 5 divine elements. Duan Lingtian only needed to use the law of space and his sword Dao to create a terrifying spatial storm to kill the 3 people in front of him. A 3-man team did not even have time to react before they were killed by Duan Lingtian. The moment Duan Lingtian made his move, it shocked the others as well. At the same time, they realized what Duan Lingtian said earlier was not a lie. He really had the ability to kill them. They were only ordinary higher ultimate gods. Even if they had completely consolidated their cultivation bases, their strength was still limited. They were powerless against some of the strongest higher ultimate gods, let alone a freakishly talented higher ultimate god like Duanling Tian. Run. We're no match for him. Oh my god. How can a upper divine master who hasn't consolidated his cultivation level be so strong? The remaining people were not fools and were ready to flee. At this moment, two figures flew out of Duanling Tian's body. The law of time and the law of space worked together with Duanling Tian as they split into 3 different directions. In just 10 breaths, they managed to kill all of them. More than a dozen people who were chasing after Duanling Tian were all killed. After killing more than 10 people, Duanling Tian glanced into the distance before he turned around and left. After Duanling Tian turned and left, more than a dozen figures appeared in the forest in the distance. However, at this time, all of them had a lingering fear on their faces. Fortunately, we didn't impulsively get so close. Otherwise, we would have been among the people who died just now. It's so scary. His strength is so strong. He hasn't consolidated his cultivation level yet, and already has such terrifying combat power. He must have a good background. No wonder he could take out so many rare divine elixirs. In fact, Duanling Tian had also noticed these people. However, he did not make a fuss about it because they did not follow him too closely. At the same time, no one was chasing after Duanling Tian anymore. Now, I'll go to Dancing Sun City first and see if I can find any clues about Wang Yiyuan's family. Then, I'll complete his last request and return the favor. Wang Yiyuan was a young genius that Duanling Tian had encountered in the little world inside the Crimson Demon's body. Although his strength was extraordinary, he had died in the secret realm inside the little world inside the Crimson Demon's body. Before he died, he gave Duanling Tian a spatial ring that removed the ownership of the ring. There was a circular token in the ring. It was a key left behind by a powerful supreme powerhouse. As for Dancing Sun City, it was the closest non-ruined city that Duanling Tian had heard about when he was trading with the people in the ruined city. Dancing Sun City was prosperous and peaceful. There were a total of 5 forces that controlled Dancing Sun City at the same time. Moreover, each of the 5 forces had supreme powerhouses behind them. Chapter 4400. In the Outer Realm, the races of the myriad worlds gathered. In the beginning, no one knew if there were any living beings in the Outer Realm. They only knew that many people from the myriad worlds would settle down in the Outer Realm after leaving their homeworld and even pass down their bloodlines. It was precisely because of this that the ancestors of most of the natives in the Outer Realm came from the myriad realms. However, some clans only knew that their ancestors came from the myriad worlds due to their long history, but they didn't know which realm they came from. In the Outer Realm, even the strongest powerhouses from the myriad worlds didn't dare to act as casually as they did in their homeworld. This was because there might be stronger powerhouses in the Outer Realm. The waters in the Outer Realm were very deep. Duanling Tian had heard about this from the supreme powerhouse ancestor of the Xia clan when he was still in the divine offering land. Therefore, he was mentally prepared for this. According to the ancestor of the Xia family, even the most powerful existences in the top 3 strongest realms in the myriad worlds might not be able to do as they please in the outer land. This was because the Xia clan's ancestor had heard 2 rumors when he was traveling in the outer realm. They were both about the hidden powerhouses in the outer realm. It was said that 2 hidden powerhouses had fought with 2 of the top existences in 2 of the 3 strongest realms in the myriad worlds and even repelled them. Some people also said that the 2 hidden powerhouses were actually the same person. In any case, the natives of the outer realm were not to be underestimated. This was a publicly acknowledged fact. Now, the Dancing Sun City that Duanling Tian was going to was a city controlled by the 5 native forces in the outer realm. All the rules in the city were set by the 5 forces. It could be said that they were the rulers of the Dancing Sun City. The rules were set by them, and the ones who maintained the rules were naturally their people. Is the Dancing Sun City in front? Duanling Tian rushed for a while. Finally, after many days, he saw a huge city leaning on the side of a continuous mountain range. This city wasn't on a plain. It was a mountain city, and half of the city was built in the mountains. Of course, even if it was built in the mountains, it was still surrounded by walls. As for the other half of the Dancing Sun City, it was not open to the public. In fact, it was forbidden for outsiders to approach because it was where the 5 great clans that controlled the Dancing Sun City were located. This place was also known as the inner city of the Dancing Sun City. Of course, in the inner city, not all of the 5 great clans were stationed there. There were also some markets for doing business, as well as practice grounds for sparring. These were all shared by the 5 great clans who controlled the city. The inner city's market square was the internal market square of the 5 great clans. As for the outer city, it didn't refuse anyone. No matter where you came from, they wouldn't stop you from coming, however. Since they were here, they had to abide by the rules. If you don't follow the rules, the Dancing Sun City's law enforcement team will punish you. The law enforcement team was jointly managed by the 5 great clans of the Dancing Sun City. They were a team formed by all 5 clans. Among them, the captain's strength was extremely tyrannical. Under the realm of utmost powerful warriors, they could suppress more than 99% of the people. If they really encountered someone who couldn't be suppressed, the law enforcement team would send a message back to the inner city, and there would immediately be a supreme expert who would personally suppress the intruder. Because of this, the law and order in the Dancing Sun City was very good. At least, Duan Lingtian had this feeling when he walked into the Dancing Sun City. In the Dancing Sun City, everything was orderly. The people who came and went were all very well-mannered. Even if there were occasionally people who saw people on the road, they would take the initiative to avoid them. In addition, there was no sign of the law enforcement team. Looks like it's just as they said. The law enforcement team of a city like the Dancing Sun City is usually hidden in the dark. Unless something happens, they won't come out. Duan Lingtian thought to himself. The Dancing Sun City occupied a large area. It was not inferior to any of the cities that Duan Lingtian had seen in the God-defying realm. Of course, this included the inner city. Although looking in from the sky outside the Dancing Sun City, the inner city was shrouded in fog, and it was impossible to see the situation inside. However, the outline of the inner city's walls could be seen clearly. As for why there was such a dense fog in the sky above the inner city, it was not difficult for Duan Lingtian to guess. It was definitely because the 5 great clans had set up a formation to conceal everything inside. Regarding this, he was not surprised at all. Not to mention the outer realm, even in the God-defying realm, those powerful forces that were stationed in the city would do the same. There were even some city leaders who directly prohibited people from flying into the city. In the Dancing Sun City, there were no restrictions on flying. Even if you flew over the inner city, as long as you did not have any ill intentions, no one would care about you. Of course, if you were to cause trouble in the sky above the inner city, then the law enforcement team of the Dancing Sun City would not be pushovers. I came this time, in addition to inquiring about the outer realm and understanding the outer realm further. I also want to inquire about the city behind Wang Yiyuan's family and see if I can find out. If I can find out, then I'll make a trip there and solve his request. With my current strength, it won't be difficult to complete his request. This time, Duan Lingtian had always remembered his purpose for coming to the Dancing Sun City. Although he had heard about the outer realm before leaving the God-defying realm, it was only a small part of the outer realm. There were more things in the outer realm that he still needed to understand and come into contact with on his own. He did not plan to stay in the Dancing Sun City for long. However, sometimes, there were many things that were out of one's control. After staying in the Dancing Sun City for a few days to understand the outer realm further and find out the approximate location of the city where Wang Yiyuan's family was located, Duan Lingtian, who was preparing to leave the next day, was alarmed the night before. He stayed in an inn, which was also the property of one of the 5 great families in the Dancing Sun City. The environment was not bad. Duan Lingtian had just returned and sat cross-legged on the bed in the guest room when he heard a loud sound coming from outside. The sound seemed to be far away, but it was very ear-piercing, like a clap of thunder. Then, there was a commotion outside. When Duan Lingtian heard the sound, he immediately walked out of the guest room. Soon, he heard a series of anxious exclamations. I heard that a demon venerable is leading demons to attack the Dancing Sun City. Oh no, the Dancing Sun City has been surrounded. What's the rush? The Dancing Sun City is protected by the 5 great beings. Even if a demon venerable dares to invade, he'll be crippled if not killed. The one who came seems to be the one from the Qiming Mountain. What? Is it true? It's really the one from the Qiming Mountain? Oh my God! How did the dancing sun city offend that person? The exclamations caused Duan Lingtian's expression to turn slightly solemn. At the same time, he felt that he was slightly unlucky. He had just arrived in the outer realm not long ago, and he had already encountered trouble time and time again. When he had just arrived, he had appeared in an ocean and had to fight with a great demon. Then, he had mistakenly entered the Crimson Devil Ridge and was imprisoned by the Crimson Devil. He had narrowly escaped with his life. Now, he had finally escaped the Crimson Devil's control and successfully arrived at the Dancing Sun City that was said to be very safe. However, he encountered a demon venerable leading demons to attack the Dancing Sun City. Duan Lingtian naturally knew what a demon venerable meant. It meant that the demon venerable was the strongest among the great demons. It's just a demon venerable. There are 5 great beings guarding the Dancing Sun City. Why would they be afraid of a mere great demon? However, they don't seem to think that the 5 great beings would be able to defeat the demon venerable. At this moment, Duan Lingtian's expression turned solemn when he saw this. Chapter 4401. Of course, Duan Lingtian knew that there was a difference in strength between supreme experts. And now, according to the surrounding crowd, the demon sovereign of the Qiming Mountain, that omnipotent great demon, was obviously much stronger than the 5 omnipotent great demons of the 5 great clans in the Dancing Sun City. But even if the 5 supreme experts join forces, they still can't beat it. Seeing the fear in the people around him, Duan Lingtian's face became very serious. How powerful was the supreme expert of the great demon that it was not afraid of the 5 supreme experts joining forces? A woo! Roar! 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 Before Duan Lingtian could recover from the shock in his heart, the roars of the demonic beasts entered his ears like thunder. These sounds were getting closer and closer. In addition, he could hear the rumbling of buildings being flattened. The great demon of the dark Qi Mountain is coming. Run! Run! People around him jumped into the air and fled in all directions. Bang! A loud sound rang out as an ape-type great demon suddenly appeared in the sky above the inn. Its huge body seemed to blot out the sky as it stomped down on the 2 of them. During this process, a terrifying force swept the 2 people and exploded them into a bloody mist. Humans are too weak. After the giant ape stomped the 2 people to death, its huge foot sank into the courtyard at the side of the inn. At the same time, it casually threw out 2 punches. The terrifying fist force wreaked havoc, killing the fleeing figures one after another. Of course, there were also some people who escaped because they were stronger. In the inn, sand and stones were flying everywhere. Everyone was fleeing. However, not long after, some people let out desperate cries. Then, there were loud sounds coming from the surroundings. Obviously, there were other great demons around. This is just an ordinary great demon of the dark Qi Mountain? Looking at the giant ape in front of him, Duan Lingtian seemed to be calm, but in fact, his heart was in turmoil. Although this giant ape was not as strong as the great demons of the sea that he met when he came to the outer world, it was not far away. Moreover, this was only one of the greater demons that had attacked the Dancing Sun City this time. In the eyes of the giant ape, the humans in front of it were its prey. Any human who saw it would flee in all directions, and it enjoyed the pleasure of an eagle catching a chick. However, a moment later, he discovered that in this huge human courtyard, there was a human standing there motionlessly as if he was possessed. Scared silly by me? The giant ape subconsciously thought so. However, this human gigolo is really an eyesore standing there. The one targeted by the giant ape was none other than Duan Lingtian. From the beginning to the end, Duan Lingtian stood in the same place and did not move at all. The giant ape in front of him was not a threat to him. I can smash such a gigolo human to death with one punch. With that thought in mind, the huge ape casually threw a punch at Duan Lingtian. Immediately, lightning shot out in all directions. The huge ape was proficient in the law of lightning. At the same time, the heavenly anomaly of 1,000 miles of weak light appeared. In the outer world, the heavenly anomaly of 1,000 miles of weak light was equivalent to the heavenly anomaly of 1,000,000 miles of light in the reverse God realm battlefield. Such a level of law was considered good even among upper-level ultimate gods. The giant ape was also a upper ultimate god great demon. In the face of the giant ape's punch, Duan Lingtian did not meet it head-on nor did he dodge. He just waved his hand and the power of the law of space swept out and directly dissolved the force of the giant ape's punch. The entire process was understated. The giant ape's pupil shrank sharply at this moment. This human is so strong. The giant ape's heart trembled, and he did not dare to be careless. Blood chi surrounded his body as he used his trump card, the power of blood of his clan. A moment later, blood energy appeared around the giant ape's body and intertwined with the lightning. It looked like blood-colored lightning. Then, the giant ape charged at Duan Lingtian again. This time, he was completely serious. However, in the face of the giant ape's all-out attack, Duan Lingtian waved his hand again and directly sent the giant ape flying. With a loud thud, the giant ape landed in a corner of the inn and crushed a large number of buildings. In the next moment, Duan Lingtian teleported closer. The sword in his hand flashed as he condensed his divine power into a sword. He placed it in front of the giant ape's huge head and pointed it between its eyebrows. "You're no match for me," Duan Lingtian said as he glanced at the giant ape indifferently. Although he easily crushed the giant ape, Duan Lingtian did not intend to kill the giant ape. He did not even intend to let the giant ape see blood. What a joke. This giant ape was only one of the many great demons in the Qiming Mountain. If he killed or seriously injured this great demon, he might attract a group of great demons to besiege him. At that time, even if he could fight against all the demons alone, he would become the target of everyone. He might even be targeted by the demon venerable of the Qiming Mountain. Once he was targeted by that supreme great demon, he would definitely die. "Human, why don't you kill me?" The giant ape struggled to get up and looked at the pretty boy in front of him blankly. For the first time, it felt that this pretty boy was quite pleasing to the eye. In the face of the giant ape's question, Duan Lingtian ignored it and flew away in a flash. This was because he had already spread out his divine consciousness and found that several great demons were rushing in his direction. It was as if they had sensed the giant ape's danger. This giant ape is popular. No, it's popular. Demonic fate is not bad. In just a short while, there are already other great demons rushing over. Duan Lingtian thought to himself as he flew away. After leaving the inn, Duan Lingtian moved like a loach in the middle of the battle between the great demons and humans. Occasionally, some great demons would attack him, but he would easily avoid them. With his strength, as long as the supreme great demon of the Qiming Mountain did not attack him personally, he could definitely protect himself in front of the other great demons of the Qiming Mountain. That human is very strong. At this moment, Duan Lingtian did not know that he had been targeted by several extremely powerful great demons. In the void, there were 3 great demons gathered together. One was a flying great demon, one was a walking great demon, and one was a scaled great demon. At this moment, they were staring at Duan Lingtian. The one who spoke first was the walking great demon of the 3 demons. This walking great demon had a body as large as a mountain. It looked like a tiger or leopard, but its head was like a deer. It also had 3 antlers on its head. If there was a human or great demon familiar with the Qiming Mountain here, they would definitely be shocked when they saw these 3 demons. This was because these were the 3 demons of the Qiming Mountain, second only to the Demon Master. They were the best of the best among the superior ultimate gods. Taiyu, your adopted son was almost killed by him just now. You really can sit still. The flying great demon chuckled as if he wanted to see the world in chaos. Haha, Taiyu must have noticed that the human did not intend to kill him. Otherwise, how could he sit still? The scaled great demon laughed and said, however, that human strength is indeed very strong. Even we may not be his match if we don't use the supreme divine weapon given by the Demon Master. Such a strong human. Could he be from the 5 great clans? Not necessarily. If he was from the 5 great clans, he would have already gone to the inner city. Why would he run in the opposite direction? At this moment, the direction Duan Ling Tian was heading in was the opposite direction of the outer city wall. He did not want to stay in this place any longer. He wanted to leave. He did not kill a single demon of the Qiming Mountain, so he did not really offend the Qiming Mountain. Even if the supreme great demon of the Qiming Mountain found out that he wanted to leave, he might not have the time to stop him personally. As for the other demons, he was not afraid at all. Those great demons would not be able to stop him. Just as Duan Lingtian was getting closer and closer to the city wall and evading many great demons along the way. Qiming Demon Master, are you provoking the 5 of us? A loud and heavy voice came from the inner city of Dancing Sun City. The voice was thunderous and filled with anger. In the blink of an eye, the voice spread throughout Dancing Sun City. End of chapter. Chapter 4402. Before Duan Lingtian could react, he heard a thunderous snort above his head. Zhong Yuanjue, you're getting worse and worse. How can you ask such a stupid question? Today, I, Qi Ming, am not only going to provoke all of you, but I'm going to kill all of you and annihilate the 5 great clans. As soon as the voice left his mouth, Duan Ling Tian, who had just arrived near the city wall, saw beams of light emitting a terrifying aura descending from the sky and surrounding the entire Dancing Sun City like a cage. The walls of the Dancing Sun City were completely surrounded. Duan Ling Tian's heart skipped a beat when he saw the light beam that easily vaporized the city wall. At the same time, the world-cleansing divine waters warning rang in his little world. Little Tian, this supreme powerhouse has sealed off the entire city. His energy has shrouded the entire area. Don't act recklessly. If you forcefully attack the light beam, you'll suffer a backlash. If you haven't comprehended the law to the perfection stage, you'll definitely die. Although your sword Dao is strong, it'll only lead to a greater backlash. The world-cleansing divine waters voice was extremely solemn. Along the way, Duan Lingtian had not completely sealed off the little world in his body. Instead, he would occasionally open a crack so that the world-cleansing divine water could monitor the situation in the outside world. If he had allowed the world-cleansing divine water to monitor the surroundings in advance, he would not have entered the Crimson Devil Ridge. This time, the divine tree of life had expended a lot of energy to help him escape from the little world in the Crimson Devil Ridge. The 5 divine elements had also expended a lot of energy. However, since Duan Lingtian needed the world-cleansing divine water, the other 4 divine elements were willing to bear the burden as well. For this reason, the other 4 divine elements had expended a lot more energy than the world-cleansing divine water, causing them to fall into a deep sleep again. The world-cleansing divine water, on the other hand, did not need to fall into a deep sleep again. What should I do now? Duan Lingtian asked. At this moment, his heart could not help but race. He could not help but feel nervous. After all, this was a battle between supreme powerhouses. They could easily destroy an entire city and kill him as well. Don't leave this city by force, the world-cleansing divine water said in a deep voice. For now, it's best for them to mingle with the Qiming Mountain's high-level ultimate gods. The Qiming Mountain's supreme expert will take their safety into consideration even if he's fighting the 5 supreme experts in Dancing Sun City. Correspondingly, the 5 supreme experts of the Dancing Sun City will also consider the safety of their juniors. Although you can also sneak into the 5 great clans, I have a feeling that this person from the Qiming Mountain will win this battle. If you sneak into the 5 great clans of the Dancing Sun City, and this man from the Qiming Mountain wins, I'm afraid you won't be able to escape death. Upon hearing the world-cleansing divine water's words, Duan Lingtian could not help but frown. Choice. Another choice. He realized that ever since he arrived in the outer realm, he had been making a choice, and it was a choice between life and death. In fact, with his current strength, he could not be considered weak even in the outer realm. Apart from the supreme experts, it would be difficult to find a peak high-level ultimate god who had comprehended the laws to the perfection stage who could stop him. Sister Water, do you think I should choose to mingle with the Qiming Mountain's great demons? Duan Lingtian asked the world-cleansing divine water. But, Sister Water, I'm human after all. They're demons. Will they be willing to coexist peacefully with me? Why should we coexist peacefully? The world-cleansing divine water said indifferently, you should follow them wherever they gather. If they attack you, all you have to do is defend yourself. Do you think they have the ability to kill you? Moreover, in my opinion, you should follow the giant monkey who attacked you earlier. You spared his life earlier. Based on their character, they won't bite the hand that feeds them. Based on the world-cleansing divine water's words, it was clear that it had recognized the giant monkey. Sister Water, are you that pessimistic about the 5 great clans of Dancing Sun City? Duan Lingtian frowned slightly. He kept having the feeling that it was slightly rash to entrust his life to a supreme expert of the Nether Chi Mountain. That's not the case. The world-cleansing divine water said, since the supreme expert of the Chi Ming Mountain dares to come here so openly, it means he's confident. The 5 supreme experts of the 5 great clans of Dancing Sun City might have some trump cards up their sleeves as well. The choice I'm giving you is actually the safest choice. Think about it. If you mingle with the people of the 5 great clans and the supreme expert of the Chi Ming Mountain wins, do you think he'll spare a human like you? If you mingle with the supreme experts of the Chi Ming Mountain, even if the supreme expert of the Chi Ming Mountain loses, the supreme experts of the 5 great clans won't kill a human like you. At that time, you can just choose a few supreme experts and kill them. At that time, the people of the 5 great clans might have a good impression of you and might even invite you to join their clans. There are only a handful of higher ultimate gods like you even in the 5 major clans. Duan Lingtian finally understood the world-cleansing divine water's intentions after listening to its words. At the same time, he realized the world-cleansing divine water had chosen the safest path for him. Whoosh! With that thought in mind, Duan Lingtian's figure flashed as he began to travel through the Dancing Sun City. At this moment, Dancing Sun City was filled with broken walls. The originally bustling streets were now in ruins, along with the collapse of the roadside houses. It felt as though the end of the world had arrived. Moreover, along the way, Duan Lingtian could see blood everywhere. In some places, the blood seemed to have transformed into a small stream that flowed endlessly through the ruins. Many people were still trying to escape, but they were all killed by the supreme experts. Occasionally, a few of the stronger ones would be besieged by the supreme experts. Although the 5 great clans' businesses were located in the outer city of the Dancing Sun City, the people of the 5 great clans who were in the businesses immediately returned to the inner city when the incident happened in the city. The Dancing Sun City's law enforcement team had also returned to the 5 great clans. They could usually do whatever they wanted in the Dancing Sun City and maintain the law and order of the city because the people they had to deal with were limited in strength. Moreover, they were backed by the 5 great clans. But this time, the ones who had barged into the Dancing Sun City were a group of demonic beasts led by an extremely powerful great demon. They were not something the enforcers could contend against. They even received a message from their clans asking them to return to their clans as soon as possible to avoid unnecessary casualties. As for those who were not from the 5 great clans, they were naturally abandoned. Found it. Soon, Duan Lingtian found the giant ape who attacked the inn and was defeated by him. At this moment, the giant ape was no longer alone. There were 2 other beasts beside him. One of the beasts was a flying beast. Its body was covered in golden feathers that shone with a sharp luster. The other beast was also a flying beast. Its body was black and looked like a bat. There were dark green lines on its body. Vaguely, one could see blood vessels crisscrossing on them. It looked very horrifying. Whoosh! In just a blink of an eye, Duan Lingtian appeared near the giant ape and the other 2 great demons. At this moment, the 3 great demons had joined forces to destroy a towering building. Moreover, they were killing those who were trying to escape. Many people begged for mercy, but it was no use. Corpses were everywhere and whales were everywhere. It's you. Finally, the giant ape noticed Duan Lingtian. Its pupils shrank and its huge body seemed to be frightened. It staggered back a few steps. At this moment, the other 2 great demons had also regained their senses. They no longer continued to chase after the person who had fled. Instead, They shifted their attention to Duan Ling Tian in unison. What are you going to do? The giant ape looked at Duan Ling Tian with a gaze filled with fear. Chapter 4403. Although the giant ape did not have any ill feelings towards the human in front of it, since the human had the ability to kill it, he had spared its life. Although humans and demons were different, it did not stop it from remembering the human's kindness of sparing its life. Their tribe had always been straightforward and did not have any tricks up their sleeves. Now that the human had appeared again, the first thought that appeared in its mind was whether the human had changed his mind and came back to kill it. Nothing much. Faced with the giant ape's vigilance, Duan Ling Tian merely smiled. I just saw that the battle between the ultimate powerhouses is about to begin, so I wanted to find someone to watch and chat with. I've just arrived in Dancing Sun City, and I don't know anyone, so I wanted to find you to watch and chat with. That's all? The giant ape frowned. It was obvious that it did not believe Duan Ling Tian's words. He still remembered that his foster father had told him that humans were very cunning. Before Duan Ling Tian could speak, the two flying demons beside him turned their sharp gazes to Duan Ling Tian. Taming Sha, you know this human? He's the human who defeated me earlier. The giant ape stared at Duan Ling Tian as it replied to its companion in a deep voice. So, it's him. When the two flying demons heard this, they looked at Duan Ling Tian again with a hint of fear. After all, their strength was only on par with the giant ape and Taming Sha. Human. After a while, the big demon that looked like a bat stared at Duan Ling Tian. Its eyes shone with wisdom as it said in a deep voice, "We owe you a favor for sparing Taming Sha earlier. We'll repay you for sparing his life. Now that you're here, I don't think it's as simple as watching the battle between the ultimate powerhouses, right? You want to use this as an excuse to escape, right? If I'm not wrong, you're definitely not from the 5 great clans of Dancing Sun City. Also, you chose to look for Taming Sha again. I'm sure you think that you can stay out of this battle, regardless of whether the 5 great clans of Dancing Sun City win or the demon sovereign of Mount Galloping Underworld wins." Although Duan Ling Tian maintained a calm expression on his face, he could not help but feel waves of shock surging in his heart when the avian great demon finished speaking. When he looked at the other party once more, his gaze was filled with surprise. He had never expected that this bat demon, who looked so unassuming and even a little intimidating, would be so meticulous and see through what he wanted to do with just a few words. What happened? Unlike the bat great demon, the ape Taming Sha and the other avian great demon looked at the bat great demon with curiosity in their eyes. The bat great demon immediately said, "This human came to find Taming Sha because he wanted to use the favor he had shown Taming Sha in order to help Taming Sha survive the calamity of Dancing Sun City. Of course, he's not sure if the 5 great clans of Dancing Sun City or the demon sovereign of Mount Galloping Underworld will win. However, he's here. No matter who wins, he'll most likely be able to escape unscathed." As the bat demon's words hit the nail on the head, both the other bird demon and the giant ape Taming Sha came to a realization. Humans are indeed cunning. Taming Sha's gaze turned hostile when he looked at Duan Ling Tian again. At this moment, Duan Ling Tian was looking at the bat demon. He could not help but shake his head and sigh. "I really didn't expect you to see through my intentions. I thought great demons were all simple-minded and well-developed. I didn't expect there to be a great demon as intelligent as you." Now, Duan Ling Tian was speaking from the bottom of his heart. He had no intention of hiding anything. Moreover, there was no point in hiding anything. He might as well be frank and honest. He just wanted to survive. "Human." The giant ape Taming Sha looked at Duan Ling Tian and said in a deep voice, "I'll cooperate with you in whatever you want to do. However, after this, we'll be even. I, Taming Sha, no longer owe you anything." Unlike the bat demon that was intelligent, Taming Sha was a lot simpler. He spoke in a straightforward manner without any sloppiness. Of course, Duan Ling Tian smiled. He had been waiting for Taming Sha to say this. After reaching a consensus, Duan Ling Tian and the 3 great demons stayed together. The 3 great demons did not continue hunting the human cultivators in Dancing Sun City. Instead, they looked up at the sky with Duan Ling Tian. At this moment, a 3-meter-tall muscular figure appeared in the sky above Dancing Sun City. His face was as sharp as a knife, and he was extremely resolute. His entire body exuded a masculine aura. This 3-meter-tall, muscular man in a gray robe was currently looking in the direction of the inner city. Over there, 5 figures gradually appeared. Behind the 3-meter-tall muscular man, 3 great demons also appeared. They were a flying great demon, a walking great demon, and a scaly great demon. These 3 great demons are the 3 strongest great demons under Demon Honorable Crimson Light. Duan Lingtian did not know much about the Qiming Mountain in the past. He had never even heard of it. However, he had clearly heard the discussions and exclamations of the group of people in the inn earlier. Because of that, he had learned some information about the Qiming Mountain from those people. He knew that there were 3 great demons under the Qiming Mountain's strongest great demon. They were the cream of the crop among the top high-level supreme gods. Each of them had comprehended the law to the small perfection realm. In the outer realm, the power of law would appear, and there would be a heaven and earth vision that illuminated 100,000 miles. In the realm battlefield of the god-defying realm, there would be a heaven and earth vision that illuminated 100 million miles. That kind of heaven and earth vision was enough to cover half of the realm battlefield. Qiming Demon Honorable, I spared your life back then. I didn't expect you to dare to provoke us. Today, the 5 of us will join forces to enforce justice on behalf of the heavens and kill you in Sundance City. As soon as the indifferent voice sounded, Duan Lingtian saw the 5 blurry figures in the sky above the inner city of Dancing Sun City began to solidify. Almost as soon as this voice sounded, Duan Lingtian was shocked to find that the 5 of them had disappeared right under his nose. In the next instant, he heard an earth-shattering explosion. Bang! With a loud bang, he did not even have time to see what had happened. A terrifying airwave had already fallen from the sky. In the blink of an eye, it crushed all the buildings in the outer city of Sundance City. Only the buildings in the inner city of Sundance City were intact because of the protective clan formation of the 5 great clans. Even so, one could still see a resplendent light rising from the direction of the inner city. Then, that light dimmed again. It was obvious that the protective clan formation of the 5 great clans had consumed a lot of energy. Spared my life back then? Venerable Qi Ming's cold voice reverberated in and around Dancing Sun City. Back then, my venerable Qiming Mountain had never made things difficult for the 5 of you or your descendants. However, for your own selfish desires, you actually plotted to kill my son. You wanted to extract his heart's blood essence and refine it into a divine pill so that your descendants could be reborn. You didn't kill me back then because you wanted to spare my life, or because you couldn't. You know very well in your hearts. Today, not only will I kill you, but I'll also kill the so-called genius disciples behind the 5 of you who used my son's life to be reborn. Then, I'll exterminate the clans behind you and remove the 5 great clans from the outer realm. Qiming Demon Honorable's voice became colder as he spoke. When Duan Lingtian heard Qiming Demon Honorable's words, his heart trembled at the same time. He finally knew why Qiming Demon Honorable was here. He was here to avenge his son. Back then, the 5 great clans of Sundance City had joined forces to plot to kill Qiming Demon Honorable's son and extract the essence of his heart in order to cultivate their genius disciples. Not all humans are good people. Not all demons are evil demons. Duan Lingtian's ears rang again. What his master, Feng Qingyang, had said to him in the past. In fact, he had long felt this in his heart. In fact, he had felt this way when he was still in the mundane realm. Chapter 4404. What? The old ancestor did such a thing? He actually took the initiative to provoke this person from the Qiming Mountain, killed his son, extracted his blood essence, and nurtured the next generation of prodigies? So that's how it is. I was wondering why the Qiming Mountain and our Dancing Sun City had always stayed out of each other's business. So this is the reason why they suddenly came to kill us. This great demon from the Qiming Mountain has been lying low for many years. Now that he has come to kill us, he must be confident. In the inner city of Dancing Sun City, The people from the 5 great clans were shocked when they heard the Qi Ming demon venerate's words. It was not until now that they knew there was such a grudge between the 5 great clans and the Qi Ming mountain. Most importantly, they did not know about it beforehand. At this moment, most of them could not help but complain. After all, they did not have any vested interests. Now, they had to bear the danger together. When there were benefits to be had, they were not. Now that they had to take the blame for someone who came looking for trouble because of some benefits, how could they be willing? Of course, they knew it was useless no matter how unwilling they were. They had no say in the clans and could only be manipulated by others. At this moment, their hearts were filled with worry. Although the Qi Ming mountain was a great demon force, they must be confident since they dared to come to their doorstep. Moreover, the demon venerable from the Qi Ming mountain had declared that he would annihilate the 5 great clans. No matter how they looked at it, it did not seem like he was joking. However, they felt that it was impossible for the demon venerable to defeat the 5 strongest people from the 5 great clans on his own. However, based on the demon venerate's strength, it seemed like victory was in his hands. Qi Ming demon venerate, although your strength has improved compared to before, it's still impossible for you to defeat the 5 of us together. I'll give you one more chance. Quickly take your great demon and leave. If you do that, the 5 great clans will let bygones be bygones. An arrogant voice suddenly sounded in the sky. Clearly, this was the voice of one of the 5 supreme powerhouses of the 5 great clans. After the terrifying energy dissipated, the turbulent clouds in the sky also dispersed. Everyone, including Duan Lingtian, could see the scene in the sky clearly. A tall figure was standing opposite the 5 people. Among the 5 people, there was an old man, a middle-aged man, a young man, a beautiful woman, and an old woman. Obviously, they were the 5 powerhouses of the 5 clans. At that moment, the person who spoke was the middle-aged man. Unlike the calm and tranquil atmosphere high up in the sky, the dust within the dancing sun city had dispersed. Duan Lingtian, who was flying up with the 3 great yaos beside him, looked down and saw that the dancing sun city's interior was littered with corpses and broken walls. It was a complete wasteland. At this moment, there were still many survivors, but they were all being hunted down by the greater demons. In the huge outer city, Duan Lingtian was the only human left. No great demons attacked him. This was because the 3 great yaos beside Duan Lingtian were all well-known great yaos in the Chiming Mountain. Perhaps they were not the strongest under the Chiming Demon Venerable, but their backgrounds were the most shocking. Not to mention others, the great ape Tamang Sha's adoptive father was one of the 3 strongest great yaos under the Chiming Demon Venerable. In the Chiming Mountain, even the great yaos who were stronger than him did not dare to provoke him easily. Therefore, seeing that the 3 great yaos did not have the intention to attack Duan Lingtian, even if the other great yaos did not understand, they did not intervene to deal with Duan Lingtian. This is a fight between supreme powerhouses? Duan Lingtian looked at the city below his feet, his eyes filled with horror. At this moment, except for the confinement light that enveloped the city, the entire outer city walls of the dancing sun city were all knocked down. They were either turned into dust or broken walls. Blood flowed continuously in the outer city. It might be an exaggeration to say that blood flowed like a river, but it was not an exaggeration to say that blood flowed like a stream. If it was not for the supreme demon venerable of the Chiming Mountain's power that enveloped the dancing sun city, the destruction just now would not have been limited to this. Moreover, they must have held back just now. Or rather, they tried their best to concentrate their power during the fight. After all, there were not only the people from the 5 great clans below them, but also the demons of the Chiming Mountain. They must have taken the safety of these people and demons into consideration when they fought. They must not have let too much of their power fall. At this moment, Duan Lingtian thought of many things. At the same time, he was further aware of how terrifying the supreme powerhouses were. After all, today was the first time he had seen a fight between supreme powerhouses. Of course, to be honest, he could not say that he had seen a fight between supreme powerhouses. This was because when the 6 supreme powerhouses were fighting just now, the terrifying power swept out in all directions. Although he tried his best to see the situation clearly, he could not see it clearly at all. Or perhaps, even without the interference of the power, his eyesight could not keep up with the speed of their fight. However, Duan Lingtian raised his head and looked at the 6 supreme powerhouses in the sky. Finally, his gaze fell on the chiming demon venerable of the chiming mountain, although it seemed that the 6 of them were fine now. However, when Duan Lingtian observed carefully, he was shocked to find that the aura of the chiming demon venerable was obviously much more disorderly now. Although the aura of the supreme powerhouses of the 5 great clans was also somewhat disorderly, it was far from that of the chiming demon venerable. Just now, the chiming demon venerable must have been at a disadvantage, Duan Lingtian thought to himself. Humph! Suddenly, a cold snort sounded in Duan Lingtian's ears. It was the voice of the Bat Great Demon. Do these 5 old fellows really think that the demon venerable came alone? What a joke! As soon as the Bat Great Demon said that, Duan Lingtian's pupils contracted subconsciously. From what the Bat Great Demon said, the chiming demon venerable had helpers. As soon as this thought appeared in Duan Lingtian's mind, Demon Venerate Qi Ming's voice rang in the air again. That's easy to say. You don't want to continue fighting with me because you are worried that you will be injured in the fight with me. I have to say that although the 5 of you have not improved much over the years, there are still some small improvements after all. As soon as the chiming demon venerable said that, the faces of the 5 supreme powerhouses of the 5 great clans darkened slightly. After the fight just now, it was not difficult for them to realize that their improvement over the years was far inferior to that of the chiming demon venerable. Not to mention a one-on-one fight. Even if any 3 of them joined forces, they would probably only be able to fight to a draw with the chiming demon venerable. If the 5 of them joined forces, they might be able to take down the chiming demon venerable, but they would definitely have to pay a huge price. It was certain that everyone would be injured. In fact, 1 or 2 of them might even die. To them, even if they were injured, they would not allow it, let alone die. How would they deal with the next heavenly tribulation if they were injured? Big Brother Frost King, please come out and help me kill these 5 people. Just as the supreme powerhouses of the 5 great clans were looking gloomy, the chiming demon venerable suddenly shook his body and bowed slightly to the sky in front of him. Almost at the next moment, ha ha, a hearty laughter sounded from the sky. Following that, a frightening cold chi also descended. In the next moment, white snow floated in the sky above the entire dancing sun city. Gusts of cold wind raged, as if this huge city had entered winter. Chapter 4405. White snow covered the sky, and cold wind blew. It was as if winter had arrived. Moreover, this bone-piercing coldness was unlike the coldness of an ordinary winter. Even with Duan Lingtian's cultivation base and strength, he still felt the coldness enter his body and penetrate his heart at this moment. The other 3 great monsters beside him had already used their divine power to expel the cold. Clearly, they were under more pressure than Duan Lingtian. Is this a supreme master who specializes in the law of ice? Duan Lingtian used his divine power to expel the cold as he looked up at the sky. As Qi Ming Demon Venerable spoke, the figure of the blue-clothed young man gradually appeared with the white snow and cold wind. This was a young man who was about 1.8 meters tall. His face was handsome and resolute, and his eyebrows were dashing. He was wearing a long blue robe, and his long hair danced in the wind. It was also green in color. He appeared with a hearty laugh, and in the blink of an eye, he was already beside Qi Ming Demon Venerable. Even though he was not as tall as Qi Ming Demon Venerable, his aura was not weak at all. In fact, it felt like he was even stronger. Frost King. At this moment, the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great families in Dancing Sun City who were facing Qi Ming Demon Venerable had already changed their expressions slightly when they heard Qi Ming Demon Venerable call out to the newcomer. At this moment, when they saw the blue-clothed young man standing in front of them, their eyes narrowed almost at the same time. Then, fear appeared on their faces. Frost King? At this moment, Duan Lingtian's eyes flickered slightly. Judging from the reactions of the 5 supreme masters in Dancing Sun City, this person did not seem to be an ordinary person. There was no doubt that he was a supreme master. Perhaps he was even more powerful than Qiming Demon Venerable. Otherwise, why would Qiming Demon Venerable be so polite just now? Moreover, when Qiming Demon Venerable asked the other party to come out, his expression and actions were clearly very humble. The only person who could make him behave like this was a supreme master who was not weaker than him. Your Excellency, austere king. The old woman of the Dancing Sun City looked at the frigid king and squeezed out a smile that was uglier than crying. We, the 5 great clans of the Dancing Sun City, and even the 5 of us, have no grudges with you in the past. You wouldn't help Qiming attack us, would you? Han Wang. She had never expected that Demon Venerable Qiming would invite this person over. Even though this person was only a rogue cultivator, his strength was stronger than Qiming's martial highness. Although she had long heard that the other party had been living in seclusion for the past few years, and she had once wanted to get close to him, she had never imagined that their first meeting would be under such circumstances. Your Excellency, austere king. Another old man among the 5 most powerful masters of the Dancing Sun City slightly bowed to the Icy King. Today, as long as you don't interfere with the matter between us and the Qiming Mountain, our 5 families are willing to give you a generous gift that will satisfy you, Your Excellency. Just a moment ago, he had already communicated with the other 4 people by his side. If the Icy King was willing to back down, their 5 families were willing to give him a generous gift. Otherwise, if the Icy King's strength was as terrifying as the rumors said, even if he couldn't kill all of them by joining forces with Qiming, he was still confident that he could kill 1 or 2, or even 2 or 3 of them. Moreover, once the Icy King and Qiming joined forces, the 5 great clans of the Dancing Sun City would definitely be destroyed. Even if some of them could survive, they would only be able to survive by running away. Is that so? Hearing the old man's words, the Icy King took a step forward with a gentle smile on his face. He didn't look like a supreme master who brought cold winter to the Dancing Sun City at all. Instead, he looked like a gentle and refined person. Of course, seeing the Icy King step forward with a smile on his face, the 5 powerful masters of the 5 great clans were stunned at first, but in the next moment, they all revealed brilliant smiles. The Icy King was tempted. This was a good thing. Your Excellency, as long as you agree today, our 5 great clans are willing to open our treasure vaults and even our storage rings, and let you take whatever you want. Yes, Your Excellency, our 5 great clans are very sincere. The 5 supreme masters all expressed their views. Haha, the Icy King laughed out loud. Then, his figure flashed and directly flew towards the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans. At the same time, he laughed heartily and said, Qiming, the benefits they offered have moved my heart. I'm sorry. In the blink of an eye, the Icy King was already not far away from the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans. And the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans naturally wouldn't be so stupid to approach the Icy King without any precautions. Although the Icy King took the initiative to show goodwill, they still maintained their vigilance. Because everything was going too smoothly. It was so smooth that they found it unbelievable. Icy King, you. Qiming's expression changed greatly. Then, his eyes turned cold as he stared at the Icy King with a gloomy expression. Don't forget, you also took my things. As his voice fell, he looked at the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans. The 5 of you. Don't tell me you really believe that the Icy King is willing to help you at the last minute? Now, if he can break his promise to me, he can also break his promise to you. The current Qiming was rather flustered and exasperated. Roar, a woo. At the same time, seeing that their demon venerable was so angry, the group of great demons from Qiming Mountain were also enraged. Even the 3 great demons beside Duanling Tian had faces full of anger. Their eyes were cold. If looks could kill, then the Icy King would have been killed countless times by them. Only Duanling Tian was stunned by the scene in front of him. A supreme master seemed to be no different from an ordinary person. At this moment, the lofty and glorious image that the supreme master had built in the depths of his heart publicly collapsed. Of course, at this moment, he still felt that something was wrong. If the Icy King was really someone who would change sides so easily, why would the demon venerable Qi-Ming take the risk to invite him here? Now, if the Icy King really stood on the side of the 5 great clans of the Dancing Sun City and joined forces with the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans, it would be impossible for the demon venerable Qi-Ming to escape even if he wanted to. Just now, he heard from the giant ape tower, Meng Sha, that this Icy King was a reclusive supreme master. His strength was even stronger than Qi-Ming's. It was also because of this that Qi-Ming had the confidence to attack the Dancing Sun City and point his sword at the 5 supreme masters of the Dancing Sun City. When the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans saw that the demon venerable Qi-Ming was flustered and exasperated, their originally tense faces relaxed a little, but only a little. Even now, they did not dare to completely trust the Icy King. The 5 of you, open up your storage rings and your clan's treasury for me to search. Once I get what I want, I will leave immediately. The Icy King looked at the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans and said straightforwardly. When the 5 supreme masters heard this, 2 of them hesitated, but the other 3 did not hesitate at all. They immediately took out the treasures of their clans from the depths of the inner city of the Dancing Sun City. Although it was called a clan's treasury, it was actually a divine artifact that could store items. Then, they directly opened up their clan's treasury and their storage rings in front of the Icy King, allowing him to search. Your Excellency Icy King, please kindly accept this. The remaining 2 did not hesitate at this time. They waved their hands and took out their clan's treasury, together with their storage rings, and opened it in front of the Icy King. At this moment, the group of people in the 5 great clans, although they were a little unwilling, they knew that there was no other way. The 5 ancestors, as supreme masters, would definitely not be the ones to suffer losses. To be able to make them act like this, it must be this supreme master who had just arrived that made them feel fear. The clan's treasures. I'm afraid we will lose a lot this time. This time, the price is not small. Many people sighed in their hearts. As for the Icy King, when the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans opened up their clan's treasury and storage rings, he did not hesitate to extend his divine sense and search for the treasures he wanted. I'll take this. Coal dust grass, not bad. I'll take all of it. And this, high up in the sky, the Icy King was there picking the treasures he wanted, and he did not hold back in the slightest. When Duan Lingtian saw this scene, even if he had more than enough worries, he could not help but covet it. I don't know when I'll be able to have the strength to make 5 supreme experts allow me to look through their belongings and plunder their treasures. As a bystander, I find it satisfying to watch this kind of thing. How great would it be if I were the person involved? Duan Lingtian sighed in his heart. He did not know what Duan Lingtian was thinking. Otherwise, the 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans of Dancing Sun City would probably kill him at the first moment. To them, Qi-Ming and the Icy King were tyrannical opponents, and it was difficult to defeat or kill them. However, the current Duan Lingtian was no different from an ant in their eyes. All right. After the Icy King obtained everything he wanted, he did not care about the ugly expressions of the 5 supreme masters and nodded his head in satisfaction. His face was filled with a smile of harvest. The 5 supreme masters of the 5 great clans had never imagined that this Icy King would be so ruthless. He had plundered all the valuable treasures in their clan's treasury and storage rings. If it wasn't for the fact that their respective clans had other hidden treasures, all the treasures of their 5 great clans would have been taken away by the Icy King today. Your Excellency Icy King, since you've obtained everything, can you leave now? Although the young man among the 5 supreme masters spoke politely, his voice was faintly trembling. It was obvious that his emotions were on the verge of losing control. At this moment, the gazes of the other members of the 5 great clans all landed on the Icy King. If the departure of this supreme master could be exchanged for the survival of the clan, it would be worth it to give up some worldly possessions. However, in the next moment, the Icy King's words caused them to be stunned. After being stunned for a moment, they all flew into a rage. Why should I leave? The Icy King's indifferent words drifted through the Dancing Sun City, following which the entire city fell into a deathly silence. Chapter 4406. Why should I leave? As soon as King Han finished speaking, not only were the 5 supreme powerhouses from the 5 great clans silent, but even Duanling Tian and the group of great demons from the galloping Nether Mountain were stunned. Did the frigid king want to go back on his words? Qi Ming, do it. In the next instant, King Han's voice sounded again. It was earth-shattering. When everyone, including Duanling Tian, heard this, the first thought that appeared in their minds was, how could a powerhouse do such a thing? Obviously, the frigid king was trying to cheat the 5 families of their treasures. Frigid king, how dare you? The 5 supreme experts of the 5 great clans also came to their senses at this time and retreated together. At the same time, they shouted at almost the same time. Their eyes were filled with anger that seemed to be able to burn everything. At this time, they also realized what had happened. They had been tricked by the frigid king. Haha, frigid king, my acting skills are not bad, right? The 3-meter-tall giant, who was the master of Dark Qi Mountain, Demon Venerate Qi Ming, laughed complacently as a small mountain suddenly appeared in his hand. He then casually tossed it out. Whoosh! The small mountain instantly enlarged in the air and turned into a huge mountain. It covered the sky and blocked the sun. It even blocked the sunlight of the entire dancing sun city. Compared to me, you are still not good enough. The frigid king smiled faintly. Then, he shook his hands. Instantly, waves of cold air raged. In the next moment, a shocking scene appeared. Streaks of terrifying ice swept out from under the dancing sun city, freezing both the inner and outer parts of the city. The outer part of the city had turned into a city of ice, while the inner part of the city was protected by the 5 great clans' clan protecting formation, which had not been broken yet. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Numerous icicles and pillars emitting a terrifying aura swept out from beneath the dancing sun city. In the blink of an eye, they appeared in the form of a formation, enveloping all 5 of the strongest experts of the 5 great clans. Ice sealing the 9 heavens. The frigid king spoke again. Although his voice was not loud, it was clearly heard by everyone present. Frigid king, you tricked us. The 5 strongest experts of the 5 clans were startled. They never would have thought that the Frost King would actually send his power into the depths of the dancing sun city without them noticing. Then, it directly exploded. Moreover, the power that swept up formed an array diagram in the void, forming a great ice-sealing array that trapped them within. Haha, Venerate Qi Ming laughed heartily. Today, none of you can escape. In just one battle, I have killed 5 great powerhouses. This will be the greatest glory of my, Qi Ming's life. Qi Ming the Demon Venerable made his move. Not only did the exquisite hill transform into a towering mountain, but his entire body also swiftly swept towards the 5 supreme experts of the 5 great clans like a ghost. In the next moment, the group of people, including Duanling Tian, heard a series of earth-shattering sounds coming from the horizon as a terrifying power wreaked havoc before their eyes. At the same time, a terrifying ice-sealing power spread from the void and descended upon them. Go! Ta Meng Sha's warning rang in Duanling Tian's ears. Duanling Tian came back to his senses, and only then did he realize that as the terrifying power from the horizon swept down, the group of great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain all rushed out of the dancing sun city. At this moment, the cage-like power that was blocking the great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain outside of the dancing sun city had disappeared. To be more precise, the cage-like power in the outer city had disappeared. The inner city was still there. Obviously, the demon Venerable Qi Ming had intentionally let his group of great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain leave the dancing sun city. As for the reason, it was obvious that he was worried that the great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain would be affected by the battle between the 7 strongest experts. Whoosh! Duan Lingtian's face lit up with joy. Today, he was finally free. As long as the supreme experts did not interfere, although there were still 3 unfathomably powerful great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain, it was impossible for them to stop him. Duan Lingtian was still very confident in his current strength. However, as he followed Taming Sha out of the city, although Duan Lingtian also noticed the 3 great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain looking at him, the three great demons clearly did not have any intention of targeting him. In fact, one of the great demons of the Qiming mountain looked at him with a hint of friendliness. "Thank you for showing mercy to my godson. I have already asked the demon Venerable for permission. As long as the Qiming mountain does not lose this battle, you can safely leave the Dancing Sun City." A calm voice suddenly sounded in Duan Lingtian's ears. Duan Lingtian glanced at the great demon of the Qiming mountain in the distance and saw it nod at him. Clearly, it was the great demon of the Qiming mountain who had sent him a voice transmission. Duan Lingtian's mood lightened when he heard this. Originally, he had wanted to leave immediately after leaving the city. He did not want the demon Venerable of the Qiming mountain to keep him here after the battle between the supreme experts ended. If that really happened, it would be difficult for him to escape even if he wanted to. Now that he heard the great demon of the Qiming mountain's voice transmission, he was completely at ease. At the same time, he thought that there was no need to rush to leave. Although the battle between the supreme experts had caused the sky to shatter and the earth to split, the space to shatter, and the scene in the sky to be turned upside down, as if the mountains and rivers had been turned upside down, and nothing could be seen clearly. Even so, Duan Lingtian still wanted to take a few more looks. It would be best if he could get a result. "I'm finally out." Duan Lingtian followed Taming Sha and the other great demons out of the Dancing Sun City quickly. At the same time, they arrived at a distance outside the city and watched the battle in the sky above the city from afar. At this moment, even the three strongest great demons of the Qiming demon Venerable had come out together. What a terrifying power! Is this the power of the supreme experts? Originally, Duan Lingtian had not noticed the heaven and earth anomaly in the sky when he was in the Dancing Sun City. However, now that he was outside the city, Duan Lingtian finally saw the seven heaven and earth anomalies spread out because of the seven supreme experts in the city. At a glance, he could not see the end of the heaven and earth anomaly at all. The seven heaven and earth anomalies were of different colors. Although they were not the seven colors of the rainbow, they were as eye-catching as the seven colors of the rainbow. "I can't see clearly at all." Duan Lingtian tried hard to look at the sky above the Dancing Sun City. He could only see faint figures moving in the sky. At the same time, the aftermath of the terrifying power scattered down, further destroying the outer city of the Dancing Sun City, which had been turned into ruins long ago. In the inner city of the Dancing Sun City, Duan Lingtian could see that the protective clan array of the five great clans was weakening continuously. It was on the verge of collapse, as if it could collapse at any time. The five great clans must be in a mess now, right? We can leave, but they may not, unless those five supreme masters are free to help them find a way to survive. Although Duan Lingtian could not see the situation in the inner city of the Dancing Sun City due to the distance between them, it was not difficult for him to guess the situation in the inner city. Boom, rumble, bang, 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 bang. In the sky above the Dancing Sun City, the seven terrifying powers continued to converge. Every time they converged, the space would collapse, and the aftermath of the terrifying power would wreak havoc everywhere. The mansions of the five great clans in the inner city of the Dancing Sun City were in complete chaos at this moment. "Let's run." The Patriarch and the others obviously don't have the confidence to escape. The protective clan array is about to be destroyed, and the Patriarch and the others haven't come to our aid yet. It's obvious that they don't have the time to help us. Let's find our own way out. "I don't want to die. I don't want to die." In the inner city of the Dancing Sun City, many people from the five great clans rushed out of their doors. However, not long after these people left their mansions and left the protective clan array that enveloped their mansions, they were swept into dust by the aftermath of the power descending from the sky. The power of the ultimate powerhouses was too strong. At this moment, if it were not for the protective clan array, the only people who could survive would be the elites among the high-level ultimate gods. Among the people who left the five great clans, there were some high-level ultimate gods, but they could not withstand the aftermath of the battle between the seven ultimate powerhouses. "Frost King, you'll die a horrible death. Frost King, you untrustworthy villain. Aren't you afraid of being despised by the people outside the realm?" In the sky above the Dancing Sun City, while the 7 ultimate powerhouses were fighting. 3 of the 5 ultimate powerhouses of the 5 great clans in the city began to curse the Frost King. It looks like the ultimate powerhouses of the 5 great clans of the Dancing Sun City are at a disadvantage. Duan Ling Tian thought to himself. However, this is to be expected. After all, if it's not for the fact that they're afraid of Frigid King and the Qi Ming Demon Venerable joining forces, why would the supreme powerhouses from the 5 great clans in Dancing Sun City be willing to pay such a high price to allow Frigid King to choose the treasures in their treasure vaults and spatial rings? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying aftermath of the battle quickly engulfed the entire Dancing Sun City, raising a cloud of dust that blocked the vision of Duan Lingtian and the great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain. After about 100 breaths of time, the commotion in the battlefield seemed to have died down. Shuizheng. A shrill cry sounded from the sky above the Dancing Sun City. It was filled with unwillingness and fear. Split up and run. Immediately after, another anxious voice sounded. It was filled with panic. Haha. If you had run when the Frost King appeared, you might have had a chance to escape. However, you gave the Frost King time to set up the formation, and now you want to leave? You're dreaming. Venerate Qi Ming's hearty laughter was filled with unbridled carefreeness. However, as the Qi Ming demon Venerable spoke, he coughed lightly twice. It was clear that he had also sustained some injuries and was not as unscathed as he sounded. Seal. The Frost King's indifferent voice sounded. In the next instant, Duan Lingtian and the great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain could clearly see that the dust in the direction of the Dancing Sun City had been swept away by bursts of frosty air. The trembling space in the sky also calmed down at this moment. Duan Lingtian and the great demons of the Qi Ming Mountain soon saw that in the sky above the Dancing Sun City, 6 figures had appeared around the trembling spatial rift. There was also a falling figure that shattered with a loud bang, turning into ice shards that fluttered and fell. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.